And we're back here once again with another episode of the MSK show, and this is going to be episode 204. So I hope you guys had a great day, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week that is ahead of you. And in this episode of the MSK show, just a little bit later on, we are going to be doing a comic book review on Absolute Superman #1, and I can't wait to tell you guys my thoughts on Absolute Superman #1. And we have one topic to go over later on in the show. You know, as I've stated before with some of these shows, when we do like comic book reviews and talking about like, you know, comic book news or anything else that might come up that is essentially newsworthy, just a review and a topic is generally pretty good. Keeps our brains flowing, keeps the juices juicy, as they say, you know. And as you guys have also figured out, you know, next week I'll be going to the Geeks and Gamers F&T meetup in Vegas. I'll be going to Cosmic Comics on Wednesday because that's Comic Book Wednesday. And for the first time in a while, I don't have to sit here on my computer and just order comic books. I can just be in a store and just buy them. That's crazy.
You need to go live when you're at the FNT, and me and you need to go live. You need to get some of those people on here so I could speak at them.
What? I will say this. I don't know if you ever liked Melanie Mack. Melanie Mack is trash. Can I just say that now? Melanie Mack is garbage. We actually did an episode about her. I think before I even met you earlier this year. Melanie Mack is complete garbage. I had all the receipts lined up. So people are like, no, trust me, bro. I found everything you need to know.
Said, trust me, bro.
Yeah, because you're gonna be like, oh, I watched her random video and I believe everything she says. Well, cool. I have receipts, honestly. So I'll release that as a solo video. It's already done. I gotta clip it out and give it to you guys. But
I give you credit. Like, I mess with you, but if you tell me something, I genuinely believe you. I know when you're like messing around and things like that, but you're not a dishonest person.
Like, I've met a lot of them. Some of them I watch their content more than the others because I think, you know, people gotta stop thinking this. It's like just because I like some of them doesn't mean I watch every single one of them. Because I'll be honest here, this is how I just think about things. Not everyone is as interesting as a group is, right? You know, no, I watched Jeremy, Ryan, Gary's videos. I usually binge over time because they're just so long. I'll usually like, put them on in the background and listen to them. I don't really watch Ass too much. Nothing against them. I just don't watch them that much. Critical Drinker every once in a while. You know,
I used to watch Friday Night Tights a lot, right? I did.
Yeah,
like, back whenever like he had like nobody. I remember the first time I saw him
when it first started. That's
a
long time ago.
It was on like Google Places or something. And
remember that Zack Snyder Geeks and Gamers thing?
I know. So I only knew Geeks and Gamers through him like after
Gary. Okay.
Yes. So like I don't know. I can't remember how I found him. It might have been like something like with Infinity War or even before that. Might even been before that. I'm not positive. But when I not stopped because I'll still watch it every so often.
Every once in a while, yes. Yeah.
When I stopped watching it all the time was whenever I could look at the subject and be like, okay, I know how the show's going to go. And that's whenever like I was like, okay. And I gave it my due diligence. I still would tune in. But then when I heard the same like 5 phrases over and over and over again, I'm like, yeah, okay. And I get it. You're going to cover things.
Yeah.
They're friends. I get it. Right. But how about let's talk about something that you like? Just one show, but dude.
Even when they did, it would just be glanced over. It would only happen for like 5 minutes. And it's
5 minutes. Right.
You know, my problem wasn't even really that. I just, you know, since I've been doing this for so long in terms of like podcasting, we used to have big groups and everything. I hate it when someone's on a show and they don't contribute anything and they're just clout chasing. No names, because, you know, but there is a few people on their show
that just sit there and don't say a word.
Nothing. Mm-hmm. And I've met most of them except for I've not met Chrissy or Az or Shags or the Australian guy Shagsworth. Is that his name?
There's Shad and there's
Shadworth. Shad.
What's the other guy?
So I've met Gary, Jeremy, Ryan, X-Ray Girl, her husband, and what's the other person? Comics Division. I met him too. I've known Comics Division for a while. It's just
they're all they all seem like nice people. Like I when I say things, I'm not shitting on them personally. Because I guarantee you, if we had a conversation like outside, I would be like, "Yeah, how you doing?"
Yeah.
You know, I'm
I
not.
just like to have Gary, who's someone that, you know, really did kind of fix himself after what happened to him and what he did, only to get to all this point. And, you know, you have Ryan, who's crazy in his own way, contributing to his own channel, Jeremy doing his own thing. And you have people there that either don't know or can contribute to the conversation. And some sitting there, like, there's one guy, I'm not gonna say his name, but he's just sitting there every episode, not saying anything. Literally, not even like a contributing factor, just not even a sentence most of the time. He's maybe talking, maybe like 2 sentences in a whole 3-hour show. It's like, you know, I get it. He may have been your friend.
It's your buddy. Yeah. Well, put it this way: we're talking about them. They're not talking about us.
Oh,
so obviously they're successful. And I say, hey, anybody who could turn their life around like that, because I had a lot of the same issues. I didn't go to jail and I wasn't a dealer, but I had addiction issues.
Shoot up a school? No, white people do say shoot up schools now.
I did not. I have the rage, but I did not. Okay.
Yeah. Black people do what? Fucking EBT, and all white people do is shoot up schools. What are discrepancies here? Fucking hell,
man. It is
man.
Terrible, dude. It's horrible. But I you know, I totally sympathize and empathize with the dude, because I think a lot of things with addicts, and I feel this way, is everybody wants you to get better, right? But not better than they are.
Oh, true. Like,
as soon as an addict has success, they'll shove that shit in your face, dude. It's you can never live it down. And it's like, yeah, dude. I remember, like, dude, because I was dirt poor, right? Dirt poor. And I started getting successful with success. And then a couple of people that were my friends, not anymore, they'd be like, yeah, dude, but like, you know, you were like, you know, like one of the worst addicts I've ever met. And I'm like, yes. Yep. They're like, yeah, you know, you always have that mentality back in you, you know, like once you're an addict, you're always an addict. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? And I'm dead serious. Like, this was coming from like friends of mine. And I was like, you know what? They tell you in rehab, you got to cut out people, places, and things. Well, you're a people, and I'm done. I haven't talked to those people since.
Oh God. Like, I get one of them has been there with them through thick and thin, but that's a person that you could just have on like every once in a while to contribute. Like, Chrissy doesn't really contribute to like the actual conversation. She contributes to like the joking aspect sometimes.
Her impressions. Those
are funny.
Her Frosk one was one of the funniest. Because I don't know if you've ever seen like on my channel, my Frosk rant when it happened. Yeah, I was watching it when it happened, right? And I
know Frost from League. Frost, I remember when she first started on League of Legends broadcasting for China, when that was just a fan-made thing. So when all of everyone else saw her, that wasn't League related, I was like, yeah, people are gonna look at her the same, because she made some, oh my God, like at this point now, Frost left the industry, and it's like, she wasn't bad at her job. It's crazy because she wasn't bad at casting League of Legends and doing color commentating. The fact that she just let politics ruin her public image so bad, you know?
That G4 thing was doomed. Look at the people in it.
Feels like forever ago, though.
If you look at the people in it, dude, look at her, right? Yeah. And then freaking, what's his name? The
Adam
completionist. Sessler? The completionist. Look what happened with that guy. My goodness, that dude is ruined. Ruined. He went from up here, this fuzzy, I love you, teddy bear man, to freaking done. Dude is done.
God, man. Like,
and then the dude that was like when Frost was making her big rant, and he's like, yo, talk to him, Frost.
I remember that, yeah.
Cooking you.
God.
Yeah. All those conversations that came out about him that were live on YouTube, that he was like a complete complete crazy person. And it's like, it's hilarious, dude. That G4 show and channel that came out was just.
What do you think about Games Radar? Because you know Games Radar is coming back, they said. I mean, can that be a thing anymore? Like, I know we're like older. We remember game magazines. We used to read them and shit. Is there a place for game magazines anymore? Like, who goes to the supermarket and buys magazines? Like, has that been a thing?
The same people that go to the comic book store and buy comics.
I guess, but is that like a big audience anymore?
I don't know. I don't
I don't
know if
know.
subscription based anything that's not digital and right in your hands right then and
Yeah.
there is a giant market anymore. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, granted, I like if I could still get comics on a subscription, I totally would. I used to love it, dude, when I'd get that little cardboard box once a month, dude, or like every other week, and like 3 or 4 things would be in there. I loved it.
Mhm.
But nowadays it's like completely it's a dead service. I don't know. Video, especially with how many people online YouTube get games early, already have reviews out. People have walkthroughs like
Full
some
gameplay. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
there's
full
some
gameplay out. Yep.
that it's
Mhm.
like I I love JRPGs. It's what I play. I've been playing them for years. Dragon Warrior / Dragon
Mhm.
Quest 1, I got free with my Nintendo Power in like 1988 or something like that. They gave it away free. And I loved it for some reason. I loved it. There's people that had like Dragon Quest 11 like a month for already had like walkthrough part 1 through 200 because it's like a 200-hour game and it was already done. And I'm like, I don't even have the game in my hands. So I don't know what, except for maybe interviews with creators that you can't get. I mean, even then you could just get it online. Like, I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how that's a sustainable business model
I don't
right
think
now.
the value of a game magazine is just there anymore. Like GameStop always tries to do it. They're like, yeah, if you sign up for our GameStop, whatever it's called, you get subscription to the magazine for a year. And it's like, I just don't know, guys. I'm not a person who sits down and reads magazines anymore. Even when I'm
No,
at the supermarket anymore, I don't just
no,
grab one and read it.
yeah, no, I don't. 100%
Yeah.
honest with you.
When I was a kid, I used to do that because that was like a form of entertainment for yourself when you were bored as hell. We didn't have cell
Yes.
phones and iPads like you kids have nowadays.
Right. If your mom went into the supermarket, you went over to the books and like looked at stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know it. Yes. And
Yeah.
speaking of supermarket, I have a rant to go on
Oh
here.
God. Yeah. Before we get to the review and the topic, apparently you had a situation that happened with a minority.
Okay.
A
No,
group-
it wasn't a minority.
So it was a Mexican. Aren't they a minority? Which is crazy because it's
Didn't
not.
say it was a Mexican.
I knew it was a black person. I knew
Oh,
it.
Jesus Christ. No, it's actually
God.
a hillbilly. So I live kind of in the middle and like it's a city, but it's not a lot of people. It's like 2,000 people, right?
But that's like a town still,
Okay,
right?
so I live in a town.
Yeah. The city's
And
like 20,000 people.
so out here we have like those like big gas stations where you can get food. What ours are called like sheets, right? That's what they have. And I go there every so often. And I went in there, and usually when I go there, I come out not liking the situation that was presented towards me. Usually I get in and get out, but mostly it's I see dumbass people. So anyway, I was in there with my son, right? So when I'm with my son, I always try to be dumb and have fun and let him, experience life through just having fun and feel protected and safe because he's with his dad. So I'm in line and I did not know that there was this guy behind me, right? I just wasn't paying attention. So I'm like, I can't really stand still that well. So I stepped back and like this dude must have been like really close to me and I don't know what I did to offend him, right? But I stepped back and this motherfucker, dude, fucking hauls off and goes to push me and I have my kid with me. And he looks down at me and looks at my son and goes, "If you weren't here, this would have ended badly." That's it. That's exactly what he said. Exactly. Now, you don't know me as that well, but the white rage thing that you say that I always go off on, you're not that far from it. I am not a man of fighting means, but I am not a pussy. And I always stand up for myself. I don't care who it is. That's just what's going to happen. So I looked at this dude and I thought, this is a teaching lesson for my son, right? This is what you do. And I looked at my son and I said, "David, go stand over there." And I looked right at him and I was like, "Dude, do we have a problem? Like, what did I do? Number one." And apparently, whenever I was outside, he was close. And I said, "All right, David, we're going into the hillbilly circus. Beware," right? So apparently that offended him. Very so. Now, mind you, it's 10 o'clock in the morning, right? In
Mhm.
his hands is a case of beer And in the other hand is a package of hot dogs, but no buns. So he's probably just going to eat the hot dogs with his beer, right? Probably not even cook them. So I look right at him and I'm just like already angered. Like I'm pissed because I'm like, I just want to get through here and get my stuff and get the fuck out of here. Right. My son wanted to drink this, what I can't even remember what it was, some fucking drink. I didn't want to go and I told him I would. So I had to do it. And my son's never seen me angry before, like really, really angry. Cause I try to like not do that. Even whenever he's in trouble, I try to like sit down with him and instruct him like, hey, this is why you're in trouble. This is what you did. Here are the consequences for said trouble. Right. And thankfully, he's never done anything that's so bad because he's only like 7, like he hasn't done anything that's going to set me off. So anyway,
him tell you he gives a black girl a Valentine at school. He'll be in trouble for months. Just saying.
You make things so much worse.
What if he becomes a teenager, comes up with a black girl, and he's like, I'm one of them now. And you're just like, all right. I don't care. Ah, shit. We lost you.
Why would I care about that? Dude, like color to me is stupid. Like that's like getting mad at a box of crayons and be like, I didn't get the all white pack. What's this thing over here?
I'll be honest, I never used the white crayon. I don't know what it was used for.
Honestly. Exactly. You never used it because it was useless.
I didn't use the black one either. It always was too dark.
Me and this dude ended up just getting like face to face, right? And he smelled like fucking fried chicken and ball sack. It was like some of the worst smells coming from this person. So we were face to face, and the Sheets people kicked us out, both of us. So I got mad. So anyway, I get in the car, and David's crying because he wanted his drink. So I had to go to a different. This dude followed us.
What the hell?
He followed us to the next place, which was a grocery store. Out here, the grocery store is called Kroger, right?
Okay.
And I go in there, and this dude's following me. Thankfully, my sister is a manager at Kroger, right? She's like, when she got old, as I say, she turned like in her 50s and all the kids were out of the house. So she decided to like work at Kroger. She does very well for herself. She became like a manager and shit. I thought it was funny.
I'm just saying she's doing better than all those college kids that are going to college right now and paying all that money for
she
no
makes
education.
Decent money doing it. Apparently, like she makes good money.
Yeah, supermarket managers do very well. Like,
yeah, she does really good. But anyway, so I wasn't going like that, but I decided to go that way. And I told her, I said, hey, my sister's name Meredith, and I said, hey, Meredith, like, she's like, what's up? I was like, so is there a really weird like hillbilly man walking up to us? And she said, yes. I said, can you get him the fuck out of here? He's been following us. So my sister, I didn't want to do nothing because I had my son there, man. Like I just didn't want to do anything. But so anyway, so my wife, I love my wife so much. We get done, and my wife's like, and my sister's yelling at the guy. So I hurried up. I go grab the drink, and we get out. I go to my car. My wife has taken lipstick and drew like 10 dicks all over this dude's car with lipstick, and like, not like just here's the dick. She drew like lips and like a vagina and like.
Your wife did the Tesla thing. Your wife did the Tesla thing.
No, she did it with lipstick. On the windshield, I mean, that's not going to do anything. She didn't draw like on the actual paint. She's not that kind of crazy. But I thought it was funny that she drew a vagina with a dick in it. Good wife. But yeah, so like that person
eats cold hot dogs and beer.
And dude, it was like Milwaukee's best. It's like $7 a case. Like if that is their best, could you imagine their worst? Like,
I just couldn't imagine eating a frozen hot dog. Even that's disgusting.
Dude, he did. That's like total West Virginia person. Big old, it got me my box of beer and my hot dogs.
Was he wearing overalls? I'm picturing this person wearing overalls.
No, he had on like really bad sweatpants and a t-shirt from like 1972. But he did have on the straw cowboy hat, which a lot of these West Virginia people have. Oh, dude, the smells that were emanating from this person were just, I'm surprised like I didn't know he was behind me. Because that's how, when I turned around, it was like, I was just like, what in the fuck? What is wrong with you? But yeah, so that's my rant of people. That's one of the reasons why I don't like going outside and dealing with people, because that stuff happens to me
Yeah,
all the time.
yeah. I don't like really going outside either that much, unless I go to the gym, which is literally a minute from right here. It's literally I walk across the sidewalk and it's there. My bank's right there, which is like a minute. And then unless I have to go to the store, like I go to Dollar General or a Walmart or whatever, like because there's nothing really to do. Like I told you, I don't like just going outside just to go outside because like I don't want to just be outside and just do nothing and waste my time, you know?
Mhm.
Like, because some people like, you don't go outside. It's like, to do what? I go to work, I come home. That's kind of what you're supposed to do. That's what a normal adult does. And I go out when I need to go out. I go to the movies sometimes. That's like going out, technically, you know? It's like, I don't really keep too many friends around because I'm just, I like to generally be alone for the most part, And I don't know, going outside and people, man, like, you ever go to like supermarket sometimes after you guys need food or whatever, like the refrigerator's getting low, and you're like, okay, it's probably time to go. You kind of put it off till like it's really, really nothing there, and you finally go, and you run into that same person know like most of your life, and they're asking you the same fucking questions every single time you see them. They're like, oh my God, because you'll be like your youngest son, right? They'll be like, oh, he's so grown now. It's like, you asked me this the last month I saw you.
Yeah, just because we know each other doesn't mean we have to have this interaction.
It's the same interaction every
It's
time.
The same one.
It's not even different.
How's the wife? Kids getting big. How's your job? How have you been?
The same response is like, you're right. Yeah, he's getting big.
He is a child. He is growing.
Yeah, they grow. Yeah.
I haven't watered him lately, so he hasn't gotten that big. Like I don't know what to do, like other than be like, well, we're going the other way.
Yeah, it's like whenever family would come over, and like they try to force conversation and force synergy so hard. It's like, since we're a family, we don't have to just pretend to like each other. I've never did that with family. Just because someone's family doesn't mean I have to like you nor acknowledge that I care about you the same way. I never did that. Like, people don't know this about my younger and older brother, but things happen. I can't really speak about these things publicly because one of them's very, very bad. But my older brother, if you guys don't know this, no names. My older brother, not my younger one, because that's something I literally can't explain publicly because there's something bad happening with that situation. My older brother messaged me, fucking hell, what's this month? This is April, right? So the third week of February, he messaged me and he's like, hey, can I borrow $40? I knew he wasn't going to pay me back because he doesn't pay anyone back that he borrows money from. And I gave him money a long time ago, asked for it back. He never did. So I was like, you know what? No more money for this guy ever again. And that was years ago when I got my first job. It was a long time ago. So I sent him $40 on Cash App. He's like, I'll pay you back. And keep in mind, I knew he wasn't paying back. I know he's not. It's just something about certain people, And then he hasn't messaged me since. Then a mutual friend of ours that I haven't seen in many years came up to my job and he was like, hey man, how you doing? We should talk more. And I was like, yeah, sure. I actually like this guy a lot. He's pretty cool guy. And then my older brother messaged me. He said, hey, this person wants your number. I'm like, gave him my number. And would you believe my older brother didn't give the person that I've known for so long my number so we can keep in contact. That's why I told people I don't care about like family aspects so much. Once I got to a point in my life where I was already successful and I was already fulfilled with like my life decisions because I played my cards right. I didn't really need anyone else. I already do everything anyway. I'm pretty sure because the reason I wanted to transition that was because like, do you know how like people are talking about the Switch 2's price right now? So I agree with people. We're talking about the Switch in terms of like $90 games and all stuff. That's fine.
That's ridiculous.
But the crux of the argument right now is people going, it's too much money. It's like, okay, not trying to be mean, and I do mean this really harshly. If you are broke, first of all, that's your fault. That's no one else's fault. No one cares about your sob story. Oh, I have kids. Okay, like none of us are meeting these kids. That's your fault. You have them. I'm imagining they're great kids, but I don't care about your sob story, Then keep in mind, if you literally just manage your finances better, you can eventually get the Switch 2. Guys, there are people that buy brand new vehicles worth like $40,000, $50,000. Do you think the average person is giving that car dealership $50,000 up front? No, they pay off. You said everyone else's cars, you pay them off over time. Or you just pay it off. I imagine if you buy the Switch like Best Buy, you could just PayPal paying for it off. There's other paying for options now. Guys, let's be honest here. Keep in mind, even when new stuff drops, you don't automatically have to get the newest thing right when it drops. Just save up and get it. It's not that hard. Like,
like
I
$50
understand.
a paycheck away or
Yeah,
$20 away.
yeah. And people said, well, I have medical expenses and kids. Okay, do you know what that
Then
means in
don't
life?
play video games.
But also to add to your point, even though you might have all these things, that means you don't get it. That's how life is. Sometimes, if there's life priorities first, you can get it toward the end of its life cycle when the next installment for whatever thing is coming out, or you simply just put money away, like you said, in order to get it. I think it's just so disingenuous. You can criticize Nintendo for anything; they have plenty to criticize. But criticizing a $450 price tag on something, guys, that's nothing. I spend more than $450 every month just on rent alone. I spend more than that. Like, if you're bitching about $450, you're just broke.
Like, I told my son, like, because he's like, oh, I want the Switch too, because he loves Mario, Sonic, and I told him, I was like, listen, you know, like, what you have to do to be able to get that, and I said, and we might not get it day one. It might not be day one.
And you know, like, he has a lot of stuff, as you said. He's got plenty of gadgets he can play.
He has tons of stuff. Me personally,
I
didn't even. I'm a huge PlayStation person. I didn't even get the PS5 day one. I know it was shortage, but I didn't even put a pre-order in. I waited until those things were like in the store.
Yeah, like for the PS5, no one made this argument for the PS5 when we had the whole lockdown period of like everyone was like, I want to get this. They didn't care if it was $500. Like,
people were buying it on StockX for $1,100.
I remember that. I do remember. Yep, that's true. Like, people need to understand this when it comes to most men that have jobs like we do. You just get it. Either you have the money, you can get it, or you wait to get it. Like, I don't think it's a bad argument to say, hey, if you can't get it, you're broke. It's like, yeah, maybe your life decisions led you to. Okay, I'll just point out like this. When new stuff comes out and you realize you can't get it based off your own life decisions, maybe look in the mirror and go, hey, damn, I'm making bad life decisions. I have no money for mostly anything. I need to change something up.
Especially when we've known this is coming out for how long. You could have been saving. Like, you could have been putting even $10. And then 20, like, whatever you can afford. You might not have it all day one.
You do have better than nothing.
You might have it, week 2 or week 3 or whatever, a month down the line.
I just don't get people when they're debating about, oh my God, the Switch is so much money. It's like people are saying they'd rather get a Steam Deck, which costs about the same.
Which costs more? No, it costs more. Well, you can get a used one, yes.
Technically,
with like an LCD one. But if you want like the good, like not saying the other ones are bad, but if you want to know, it's like $7.99.
Yeah.
Like,
and people keep saying, oh, my Switch 1 games are not compatible. Guys, the Switch 2 is backwards compatible. You didn't lose anything.
Yeah, totally is backwards compatible.
What is some of you guys out there just saying, I love shitting on things. People know I criticize everything, but I don't like criticizing stuff that is just a nothing burger. Guys,
If you want to criticize anything, I would say that the hardware might not be worth what they're charging.
And the gigabyte space, something like that. 256 gigs.
But if that's what they want to charge, that's what they're charging.
Oh, we'll use the Minecraft movie for example here. So everyone that went and saw a Minecraft movie, which just came out, that did very, very well.
I had fun with it.
Do you know what happened to everyone for the Minecraft movie? Everyone who wanted to go see it with their kids just went and saw it. There was no if, ands, ors, or buts. They didn't make excuses. You just went and you saw it, and that's it. That's how life is. When you see something like that, that's priced the way it is. You just get it over time, or you wait. Dude, that's just how life is, guys. Come on.
Listen, I went and saw it on Thursday.
Yeah, you like it?
With my son. I had no problem with it. It was fine. Like, he loved it. So, and I knew enough. There was a decent size. I don't live in a huge town. So, like,
well, big for yours.
It was big for there was probably like 80 people there, which is big for our play. But the best part about all the kids were standing up and they were jumping up and down and they were making their references. So I was doing it with them. I was jumping up and down with them. It was just a lot of fun, to the point where he loved it a lot. He loved it. So my wife was like, man, because I sent her videos. So like, she sent me video. While I was down here, she's like, hey, I'm taking him to go see the movie again. And I went, okay. She wanted to do it I swear. She was like,
No, and I'm glad it happened for the kids of this generation who obviously grew up with Minecraft and always loved it and liked it. The only thing that I hope ends up happening with movies moving forward, seeing this is like this is just generally what the average person wants. Something that they either could take their kid to go and see, or you go and see a movie where you just kind of, you realize it's not going to be the best thing as far as like a written story, but it's going to be enjoyable. Like, always use Fast and Furious as the example. Like, Fast and Furious movies generally do pretty well because people kind of know what they're getting into. Just that atmosphere. When you make something fun and engaging and something that people can like laugh at and meme at, still criticize, because they will always criticize. That's what people want. Not everyone wants this like Shakespearean Martin Scorsese movie. Not everyone wants that.
Well, that's what I mean. I've said that a ton of times. You know, like I say it a lot. Like, and there's sometimes like, look, man, when you have a job and you're stressed and you're this, there is a 100% place and time for Oppenheimer and for other things, right? But most of the time, dude, I just want to sit down and watch stuff explode.
That's why I still watch 2.5 Men. Just
or what I never, that's not something I watched, right? I just didn't think it was funny, right? That's just me. But I understand it. I understand that. That's why, like, Big Bang Theory, like I watched some of it. It wasn't my show, right? But I liked the comic book references.
You liked How I Met Your Mother more?
I wasn't really watching TV during that.
Oh, okay.
Those times. Like, I know of the show, and I know a lot of people like that too. That's not something I just haven't watched those shows. Like the last show, like comedy wise, that I watched, except for It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, because I love that show. I'll watch that regardless. I think was like back during like the 90s era, like Seinfeld, Friends, that era of TV. That was like whenever I was actually like, that's appointment television for me to watch.
John, what's up, man? How are you doing, dude? Or let's just use.
But I understand. I understand the guilty pleasure television.
Oh, and keep in mind, I always tell people this. I understand if you're someone that has a thing for reviewing stuff and critiquing and all that stuff, but it's the thing that I always hate is when the person that's doing it refuses to acknowledge that they have guilty pleasure. Everyone has a guilty pleasure. It's just
okay.
Like, everyone has those.
So that was one of the reasons, like, whenever I would, get on like Guys from Friday Night Tights, right? Where they would say something about like a sci-fi show or something, and it would be something that I thought was good, right? And they would kill the shit out of it. But yet then they'd be like, Buffy the Vampire Slayer is like one of the best shows ever. And I'm just like it's the same thing. It's that I understand that this show is not like the best fucking show ever, but I like watching it. Like, I get it.
Gossip Girl was entertaining.
I get it, dude. Like, I'm not looking for this mind, revolution by watching.
That's why I watch shark movies. Shark movies will do that for you if you watch them. That's what shark movies are. Shark movies, there's no stories. God, I will always laugh when that guy flew through the air with a chainsaw killing sharks.
Dude, one of my favorite scenes in any movie, period, is from Sharknado. It's when Chris Jericho was that mean freaking, I don't know which one it was. It was like 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. But he was like this mean ass roller coaster guy, right? And he was doing the ride. And then after he got done, there was a shark on the roller coaster and it ate him. I was like, this is the stupidest, funniest thing ever.
I remember one of the
hilarious.
Movies, do you remember one of the movies is titled Sharknado? Oh, hell no. That's how you know these weren't taken. It's one of the sequels, guys, is literally called Sharknado. Oh, hell no. Golly. WZ, what's up, man? Classic MSKL. Never. I never take L's. I have W's constantly. Classic Laps W. GOAT. Why is everyone new here a GOAT and I'm just an oat?
Am I still new though?
No, I just like fucking with you.
I mean, like, if that's the way you think of me, that's fine.
Oh, but have you been watching basketball? You watch basketball, right? What do you think of
how about how how about how that game ended last night?
Which one?
The national championship.
I didn't watch that. That I didn't watch.
My god, dude. So there, Houston's down by 2 and Florida's up. So the dude gets the ball and he's gonna shoot a 3, right? And the dude goes up like this. So the guy stops his shot and bounces it off the ground. Well, he can't get it back because so his teammates just kind of stand there and look, and time's going away. So the Florida guy just runs and dives on it, and they won. They won the national championship that way. You got to see the end of it. It's so bizarre. Because he thought like the ball was going to get swatted or whatever, and he just bounces it straight off the ground while he's still in the air.
Have you noticed this in the NBA recently? So many like deep half court shots people are taking and they're going in.
Yes.
What is this? Just so many random half court shots. I'll
say like this is what I say about the NBA. Like I still watch because I love basketball, right?
Yeah.
Do I like 90s basketball more? Yes. But are the players of today are way more skilled. They're way better at shooting, but that doesn't mean that the basketball itself is better. Now, I hate the thing that where these guys couldn't play in my era. That is bullshit, because if they grew up playing the same way as you did, they could play. If you're telling me that if Kevin Durant grew up in the 90s with his frame and his skill, that he wouldn't drop fucking 40 every fucking game.
There's no way Jokic couldn't play in the 90s. No way. Yeah, he would definitely
be able to play in the 90s.
Yeah,
100%.
He would definitely destroy people too. That guy is destroying people.
But here's the thing: it also works the other way. I don't like the comparison of they give you 6 feet to shoot, they'd be shooting threes. No, dude, they would come up and cover you. Like they wouldn't just like that. You have to transition to the game. The thing is the stars are always stars. Stars will always find a way to win because they're winners.
They always stood out anyway. Yeah, that's how it works. Yeah,
it's the regular guys, like the bench guys. They're so much more talented now than they were, but the game is so offense available that there is no defense, to where the rivalries are not there. Like when you watch an all-star game in the 90s, right? Like Gary Payton from the Sonics. That dude hated everybody. That dude talked shit on... Dude, he talked shit about someone's mom who just died while they were taking a foul shot. He was talking shit on their mother. Like, that's... Like, I don't condone it, but it sure led for great television.
Well, it makes things more spicier. It makes things more entertaining. Like,
I think the rivalries were better back then. And,
I was watching this, like, Facebook reel I sent Chaz on Facebook, and you just seen like when Kobe would face up against Jordan, how much he really like you can tell when anyone faced Jordan, they felt like they wanted to play better. You feel like there was like, even if it was a regular season game, they felt like a lot was on the line, like bragging rights or anything like that. And then you saw the way he performed; it was just amazing. You know, I don't feel that now. I mean, maybe when you see LeBron versus Curry. Maybe
I'll say this. I am lucky enough. I saw Michael Jordan play 2 times. They were both in Cleveland, but I had to sit all the way up at the top. But thank you, Uncle John. Thank you. I appreciate you. So I got to see it twice.
So you're a black guy enthusiast.
One was in 1993.
Yeah,
and they played the Cavaliers. But the second time was in 98. And those apparently were so hard to get because everywhere was selling out. Like it was the Jordan retirement tour. And by that time, Sean Kemp, who was like my favorite player, was in Cleveland at the time. And they both had decent games, but Jordan, I think, had like 29. And you'd like to. But anyway, the thing is, even I got to see Jordan whenever I was a little bit older play, but I also got to see him when I was younger. So even when he came back on the Wizards, right? If you actually watch what he was doing before he got injured, right? If he would have played the whole season and not been injured, dude had like 6 40-point games, and he had like a 50-point game. They were doing decently. The Wizards were starting to win, and then he got injured, left. When he came back the second time, it was just, he had some good games, but he was just too injured to play. But the aura of him was completely different than what you feel from guys today. When Michael Jordan was on TV, and I got WGN as a kid, so I got to see all the Chicago Bull games. That was a Chicago team. And so like it was a big deal when he was on national TV. you don't feel that. And I always say to people, if that's the case, why is basketball in the shape that it's in now if everything is so much better?
Yeah,
The ratings are down terribly. You
so
know,
different to
playoff
you. I
basketball
had
is
it with
great.
Kobe Bryant. I like before I even heard of because I
Kobe
like
was
playing
great.
because I like playing basketball as a kid when I was in grade school, and then everyone would talk about Kobe Bryant. And then when
Mhm.
I finally started watching games, I watched the Laker game for an assignment at school, and I would see Kobe play. And I had seen Kobe play throughout the years, even though we didn't have cable. You watch like stuff like online, or you're able to like see it and stuff like that. And just man, it was just such a special person to look at on the court.
Mhm.
I remember this guy dropping like 60, 80 points on Raptor games and stuff like that. Guy was just insane. You know,
Mhm.
I remember when he won his final championship against the Celtics back in 2010. Like there were nights he straight up carried games that were unbelievable. I remember the latter part of his career, but even in the latter part of his career, whenever he would face up against like LeBron, those were always exciting games. You know, like man, just you don't have someone like that now. It feels like in the NBA, you know, like there's
Well,
always known players, but there's not like like you said earlier, there's not like a big superstar that really drives people drives people to watch. Like people don't understand LeBron. If you watched the Laker games recently or at all this season, LeBron's been very inconsistent. He's been up and down, and it might be because he's 40 years old now and it's starting to really show. You know, I always thought Stephen Curry was better. That's just my opinion. I think he's just an overall better player in general. But like when we're looking at it now, I was watching like some of the Laker games. Yeah, they did beat the Thunder. That's impressive that they did, and they destroyed them. But then again, it's like that always happens in regular seasons, though. Like there's always that one team that can beat the best team, but then struggles against every other team. Did we just not watch the Warrior game where they were always down by 15 points and getting completely schooled? Like we don't just see that. Like they face anyone, pretty much not.
they're going to
Like
be
OKC.
dangerous in the playoffs, bro. The
Yeah.
Warriors.
Yeah,
That's a team
Lakers
I
do not want
wouldn't
to face the
play.
Warriors
No.
round. Lakers face the Warriors round one. They're going on vacation very early. I promise you that right now.
And it's funny because that when you were talking about Kobe, there was always the joke. They were like, "Man, do you remember that night when Kobe and Kwame scored 84 points against the Raptors?" Because Kobe had 81 and Kwame had 3. It's like that's
not even Shaq.
but that's true though.
Forget.
Like
Shaq was
dude,
a big
Shaq,
personality. Yeah,
dude,
Shaq
I'm
is
telling you,
amazing
when
to
Shaq
watch.
came into the league, there was nothing. I don't know what Wilt Chamberlain was like because I didn't get to see him.
Yeah,
But dude, when Shaq came into the league and skinny Shaq, who had
Yeah.
ball skills, who was
Yeah.
dribbling behind
Do
his
you know how
back
people
and doing
are
crazy
comparing
stuff,
like Jokic to
like,
Shaq, and it's like this is the thing that Kobe said a long
I've
time
seen
ago.
that, dude. It's a different comparison. Joker
Yeah.
has so many skills that Shaq doesn't, but how do you? Not one person stops Shaq. Shaq
Yeah.
might not. People are like, well, Shaq wouldn't be able to cover Jokic, and it's like well, he wouldn't be playing against him on defense. Like they
Yeah.
wouldn't do that.
Because
Shaq
remember
would be in
like
the
Kobe,
box.
he had said, I remember there's an interview he had where he said that Shaq would always kind of use being big, and big and black is what he wanted to say. But you could tell, like, as Shaq, he uses the force of him being super big. Like, Jokic doesn't do that, but he's much more, I guess you could say, refined with how he plays, you know? But keep in mind, if he wanted to be that big man against everyone where he could have two people come up to him and guard him, he can. I don't feel like he does it because he doesn't really need to. Shaq always commanded two people to guard him most of the time. You couldn't stop him
Dude,
with two people.
This will blow your mind.
Like better than my wife.
Teams that played against Shaq when he went to the Lakers from 96 to 2004, every team in the West had 5 centers. 5.
That's
because
insane.
they would just, that's where Hack-a-Shaq came from. They were like, the only way to stop him is to put him on the free throw line.
Oh yeah, he was the worst person at free throws. I remember that. Yeah.
But you know, it's funny. He was the worst person at free throws, but he made them when he needed to.
He always alley-ooped to himself. I remember watching that one time. He was a very entertaining player, like Kobe, Michael, and fucking Shaq. Super entertaining players, definitely stars in their own way. Like that's how you drive viewership.
Kobe in the All-Star game when he went against LeBron, dude. He locked him down, dude. LeBron was so mad. He was so mad. Kobe was just stealing the ball from him. Do
you remember when LeBron was supposed to be like the best player in the league, and every single time he got to the finals, I don't know if you felt this way. Every single time he got to the finals against like the Spurs or he was against the Warriors, it always felt like he just was super outclassed. the other people. I never felt like he was the dominant force.
I'll say this. I think that LeBron gets a lot of hate for reasons
not basketball related,
of not basketball, but of success.
Okay.
Because like, regardless of what you want to think about super teams, blah blah blah, the dude made it to like fucking 10 finals. Regardless
you have
of how
to
many
understand,
he won,
you can't win them all. That's something that average person.
Regardless if he
making
the
finals is impressive, just in and of itself.
Yes, he had teams. I'd say my biggest criticism of LeBron is he had the teams he wanted because he played GM. If anybody says differently, they're fooling themselves.
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah.
But the only finals I really criticize him for, like really is the one against the Spurs, where he was terrible, dude. Like
he ran it down. Yeah,
in the
sure.
fourth quarter, and they lost. But you know, next year they came back. That LeBron was terrifying, and he destroyed everybody that year. And you know, young LeBron taking the Cavaliers to that finals against who the hell did they play? Against was it the Spurs? I can't remember who they played. But that finals, like, that team had no business being in the finals. That was all him, 100%.
Yeah.
And I think he just gets a lot of hate. It's like, yeah, is he Michael Jordan? No, he's not. But you know what? You're going to miss him when he's gone. Guaranteed. People are going to miss him. The league is. So I just sit back and I go, I appreciate watching him. He's a great basketball player. The dude's
he's actually playing good. He's actually really impressive.
He's been playing for so many years, and he's kept it up. He has
the way people talk about him. You would think this guy's just a complete bum, just running it down every game. He's not.
It's ridiculous. No,
I just don't think he's as good as everyone says he is. But I don't disagree that he's not I would never say he's a bad player, though. You know, I'll say
it's kind of hard to argue with a 20-year career as a forward. You know, and you're the leading.
Correct me on this. Doesn't he have like the third highest? He's the third highest scoring point player ever too. He's one of them, right?
He has the most points ever.
Yeah, he's one of them. Yeah, but he's the highest. Yeah,
he has the most points ever scored, but not points per game.
Right, right. Okay.
He passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar last year, I believe. But the thing is, it's like I just don't understand it. Like, hate on the guy for things outside of basketball, whatever, that's fine. But like, critique him in basketball if you're going to talk about him as a basketball player. Mm-hmm. Okay. And
would he be in your top 10 if you were to do a ranking?
Oh, yes, 100%. Yes.
But would he be like lower 10 or middle of the pack?
I think he is a top 5 basketball player of all time.
Who would you have over him?
Jordan is 1. I might even have him 2 or 3. Jordan for sure.
Kobe's in your top 3?
Kobe's, yes. That's hard for me. That's hard for me.
Because you wouldn't have Shaq over him,
no. No. Well, Shaq's different. Shaq is in a completely different category just because there was nothing like Shaq. There was nothing. I've never seen anything.
He really just was a freak of nature.
Yes. Yeah. Dude was pulling down backboards. Like, just pulling them straight down. That's
what monkeys do. You know, they like hitting bananas.
I watched that Nets game whenever he tore that thing down. There was a 76-minute, like, they had to totally redo the whole thing. And they were calling him Shaq proof. So he decided, it's Shaq proof, is it? And then the next one came down, dude. It was so funny.
I never got to ask about this player. What about Allen Iverson?
Allen Iverson,
yeah.
Allen Iverson, for a stretch, I thought he was one of the most gifted things I've ever seen. Just his handles were just crazy. Mm-hmm. Like, he could score at will and just do whatever. That's another guy bringing that 76ers team to the finals against the Lakers. They had no business being there. None. It was Allen Iverson. They had a good team though, but he was the main guy, you know. But once again, that was a Shaq series. What were they going to do? They had Dikembe Mutombo. Yes, had a lot of blocks, but what's he going to do with Shaq? Shaq, that's where the barbecue chicken came from. Shaq would say it all the time, barbecue chicken, because he's going to eat them alive. You know, that's just the way Shaq did.
He's going back to a swamp with Donkey.
Shrek, that was so funny. Shrek, But like LeBron, I would just say top. I don't have all I know is Michael Jordan was the greatest player that I ever saw. That's all I could say.
For me, I've always had Michael Jordan and Kobe 1
for
and
me
2.
personally, but it's hard because of eras. I agree with Michael
How do
Jordan.
you feel about Tim Duncan?
One of the best. He's
really good.
Very
talented player.
Very underrated.
He went super underrated for so long. He always went underrated.
Jordan said it the best. He said at the time he played, he said he was the best in the world, but he never said he was the best of all time. He said, I never played against Wilt. I never played against this, regardless of what you think. And I hate hearing, oh, they were playing against plumbers. And it's like, basketball was basketball. Everybody, like, go look at the size of players, whether or not their skills were there. It's been pretty much the average. It's been the same for a long ass time.
Yeah.
It's just like, I never got to see Wilt play. I never got to see Wilt play against Jordan or this guy play against this guy. So it's hard for me to leave those guys off of lists, as the greatest of all time, or what my 1 through 10 is. It's very hard because I didn't get to see those eras, and I can't just discredit them because they were playing in black and white. People were dribbling like this, like it's hard for me to.
Remember the stories? Clippers were so bad they used to ask people from the stands to play with them. Like that. I mean, guys, we're in an era where the LA Clippers, you guys now like a little bit more. The Clippers were so bad at one point, they asked people from the stands to play. That's how bad we're talking about an era.
Like 80s and 90s Clippers were really, really bad. Like really, really bad.
You know what's crazy? I haven't thought about the Clippers in forever. They changed the logo. The logo looks ugly. I like terrible. The classic white ball. I like that.
Oh, the Clippers, that like LAC thing.
Yeah.
With the red. It is trash. I love that old Clippers uniform.
They started to get a lot of publicity because of Blake Griffin. That used to be their big player for a while.
Blake Griffin with him and I didn't Paul, like right? That they were called with Chris Paul that they were called Lob City because Sean Kemp and Gary Payton were doing that in the 90s. Mm-hmm. Sean Kemp, dude.
It's crazy to think about Kawhi Leonard could have went to the Lakers the same year that James did, but he didn't want to play with LeBron. That's crazy.
Well, I think it's one of the things he didn't want to play, but he didn't want to go to the Lakers. I think he just wanted to be in California. I don't think Kawhi Leonard cares about basketball.
And he's black. That's the crazy thing. If you think like this is all they got, you got grape soda.
No,
they got
chicken wings. We're not doing this. We're not doing
I get the jokes. You set me up for the jokes. Oh my God.
I'm just saying, like, he is the worst superstar that I've ever seen in my life. Guy's amazing when he plays, amazing talent. Mm-hmm. But my God, dude, is there a person who misses more games than him?
Maybe Anthony Davis, probably.
Not even. Nope.
Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard takes off like half seasons. The only person I can think of is what's his name? Lonzo Ball. And that's only because he's injured.
So before we go with reviewing Superman and doing the topic, you've been watching the games. The Spurs are out, and we know that. Mm-hmm. So let's see the standings.
What's that? What's Wembanyama, dude? Like that's crazy, man.
Good Lord. Hey guys, I'm saying right now, Warriors are definitely going to be a dark horse in the playoffs.
They are. I would not want to play. I would not want to play them. Put it. The
Lakers better not face them, and they will eventually have to if they want to win.
Any team, I would not want to play them.
Lakers someone face the Nuggets. Like aren't the Nuggets like 1-11 for them? That's Jokic is LeBron's dad right now. That's Big Daddy right there.
The Warriors are a team that like they were so bad at the beginning of the year.
They're awful. Yeah.
And when they got Jimmy Butler, dude, like people thought they went from Jimmy Butler being like, and yes, being in 6th place, you look at it, you're like, that's not really that good, right? But you have to look at where they were before Jimmy and after Jimmy.
Yeah, like if you guys watch the Warriors games, Curry is straight up having back-to-back 30-plus point games.
Yeah, and a 54-point game. Like
him and Draymond Green get going as a 2v2.
But it's like over. Jimmy Butler though is the one like
setting. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
middle of doing that because you have to with Draymond. Draymond can roll around, play defense, and do things that Draymond does, right? But when you have Jimmy Butler going in and playing inside because he likes that mid-range game, you have to double him. And when you double him, you can't double Curry because then that's 4 guys on 2 guys, right? So Steph Curry is a nightmare to guard because he's just running around all crazy everywhere, So when you play from inside out, that totally fits his game. So if someone doubles Curry, all they do is just kick it to Jimmy, let him score,
so
let him pass.
From what I remember, it's top 8 make playoffs, right?
No, it's top, I think 6, and then 7, 8, and 9 and 10 play in the.
Okay, so 7 through 10 play-ins, top 6 is guaranteed in.
I believe so.
So that means the Mavericks will reluctantly be in the play-in stage. They're going out in the first. No way. I believe in this team. Klay Thompson is running it down every game.
It's bad.
This team is disgusting without Kyrie Irving. It's just a travesty.
The Kings were a disappointment, man. They were so good last year.
Is there anything the Lakers can? I mean, the Lakers did upset the Thunder, and
here's the thing: when it starts in the playoffs, anything can happen. Anything can happen. Right. With LeBron and Luka going full force, anything can happen. Anything.
So let's go Eastern Conference. So that means Heat, Bulls, Hawks, Magic are in the play-ins. Okay. Good Lord.
So it's like,
I still think the Celtics in the playoffs. I think that they're just gonna just wreck house. Honestly, has to be the Cavaliers and the Celtics in the final round if you think about it. Unless the Knicks just somehow just fucking
the Knicks won't do anything. They won't. They're the Knicks. They're gonna break people's hearts.
The Knicks.
They're the Knicks. Like they
with big dicks because they're black. They always just have those. God.
But it's like I don't know. It's gonna be interesting though. It's gonna be an interesting
Westbrook. Not Russell Westbrook. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. That play he missed against the Timberwolves at the very end when it was double overtime. Oh my god. How do you miss that? Russell Westbrook. Oh my god. How do you I just don't know how you missed that. I don't get it, man.
It's gonna be an interesting playoff.
That's true.
So what the play-in starts April 15th.
April 15th. A week from today. I mean, I've had fun watching the season so far. It's been fun. I hadn't watched basically since fucking hell. I forgot which year I stopped really watching full seasons and kind of only just kept up with the playoffs. 2020 checked in when the Lakers won. Hadn't really watched up until basically last year's finals, which was the Mavericks versus the Celtics. And this season, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get back into watching. I miss kind of watching sports a little bit. This season's been very fun, very interesting. Bronny, I called it. I knew he was only gonna play a few games to see if he could do well under pressure. They saw he wasn't really that good, and they threw him out.
It was a ticket selling thing to see him and LeBron play together.
The best game he had was against the Bucks, and the Lakers got absolutely unbelievably destroyed in that game.
Well, because that's why he got in.
Yes, I even said it. I said he's only going to be in games that they for guarantee sure know they're going to lose, and they'll just try him out and see, hey, maybe he might do well in this pressure scenario. That's it. He's only going to get those games where it doesn't matter about your seeding anymore. But right now, guys, they can't put him in because the seeding every game matters for seeding at this point. So he's not going to get any more playing time. Good.
When you have 1 week left and 3 or 4 games left, and
it's all separated by 1 game for getting a circular position. No, he can't play.
Because 6 to 7, 5 to 6, that matters, especially when you after the play-in because of the seeding. And if 5 plays 6. Usually that's going to be very, that's going to make those seedings matter tremendously. So it's going to be fun. I think basketball playoffs are a lot of fun. They always are to me.
I can't wait to cover them more when they start. All right.
But MotoGP started a few weeks ago, so I've been all over that. That's been
before we review episode Superman, the one thing that I will criticize Nintendo on that a lot of people really aren't criticizing that I feel like needs to get more talked about. The Switch 2 came out 8 years after their first one. Nintendo, good fucking God. PS5 and the Xbox Series X are offering you a terabyte minimum space. Minimum a terabyte. Nintendo's offering you 256 gigs.
Here's the thing though. Are the games still cartridge based?
It's those little key ones.
Yeah, so you don't really need, dude. I'm just saying, on my Switch, I put in I think
micro SD card.
I put in like a 256 one. I'm dead serious, dude. I probably have about 80 to 90 Switch games. I'm not even joking.
You're insane.
And it is taking up like 5% of my memory.
It's just so crazy that we get 256 gigs from Nintendo. And like, I understand, like, I think that most of the games, how much gigs do they usually take up? Because I have Switch games over there, as you can see.
It's like,
they don't take up that
like
much space.
2 to 3.
Yeah.
It's virtual space anyway, because it's mostly virtual drives. Like, so the thing with it is like, the problem I have with the Switch is it not being next gen. Like, come on, man, it's gonna be the like strength of a PS4, which is fine. Because I'll tell you what, if I would have seen,
you could take around
if I would have seen like Breath of the Wild with PS4 capabilities, that would have blown my mind. You know what I mean? I'd have been like, what?
They're gonna put I think Final Fantasy 9 on there or whatever and shit like that. Like they're gonna be good games. I feel like for Nintendo, they get another bump as well, because the reason why a lot of people had PlayStation and Xbox, because the hardware is better, you can do more things with them. Mm-hmm. Keep in mind, guys.
Well, now Switch still killed all of them.
Yeah, and the other thing to help them out is that, like, now the Switch, because you know what Xbox has been doing, and Sony will probably end up doing this too. They don't like the console exclusive thing is going to be getting very, case by case, game by game basis. Well, if the Switch gets those games, their sales just do even better. Then now you don't even have to get an Xbox or a PlayStation for those games.
So the reason why Sony is, in my opinion, a better product than Microsoft, people will talk about Game Pass, right? Getting games on Game Pass, which is awesome.
Game Pass.
Well, here's the thing: if you're a company, right, and you spent 5 years making this game, do you really want it to be available on Game Pass day one?
No,
you get the licensing fee. You do not get the sales fee. Whereas Sony, you get part of the sales and you get the fee that they have for the game. So I understand from that side why like certain places make things exclusively for Sony. Plus, Sony themselves make, in my opinion, the PlayStation makes, but like God of War, the Naughty Dog series, like Last of Us, what else? The Uncharted, but like the Spider-Man games, Insomniac, like, so they're, in my opinion, there's better exclusives, like fucking Horizon.
Enix stuff.
Jesus
yeah, right.
Christ, Horizon is, dude, that game is incredible. Both of them, Zero Dawn and Forbidden West.
Because I know you read the interviews that the Xbox guy gave, where he basically said if you kind of limit them to being a console exclusive, you kind of basically like shoot yourselves in the foot in terms of sales. But he's not understanding that, that can be an aspect. I agree, might be true, but people are talking about,
but it goes on Game Pass. That's not sales.
Yeah, and it isn't on GameFly for people to rent anyway.
Well, it's like the problem is like, what, except for Game Pass, what is there that's making me buy an Xbox that I can't already, like PC Game Pass? Yeah, might not have every game, but it eventually does. And what game is there that's so good that's not on PlayStation, that's not coming? Halo's coming to PlayStation.
Farm Simulator 2.
Starfield was supposed to be that game, right?
Yeah.
Dude, my brother is a huge Xbox guy. Giant Xbox. Oh, he's like, dude, you got it. You should be playing your Xbox. You got right? And then he was like, Starfield. I heard about that shit for months, right? Mm-hmm. A week after Starfield was released, I remember saying to him, so how's that Starfield game? He went, shut the fuck up. Because nobody cared after that.
Nobody gave a crap. Starfield only had its controversy because ads had that rant that he did on Starfield. That's the only.
There was a lot, dude. There was a lot of people that were. My brother doesn't know who Az or any of those people are.
Yeah,
and he was pissed.
Yeah,
he was pissed at that game.
Like Xbox, they kind of have to pivot to making things multi-console. Like I understand the idea of having exclusives because it makes people want to pick and choose your console over someone else's. But PlayStation, only reason why they ever kind of get into things is bad because they always just kind of shoot themselves in the foot. They don't even have to do a lot of the decisions that they do, but they just do it because they just feel like, oh, we're PlayStation, we'll always have our fans and they're always going to buy anything we put out anyway. And it's like, to be fair, you can't really disagree with them on that because that's how people are. Like, they could straight up shit the bed for another generation. People are going to buy the PS6. It's just what's going to happen, you know? Yeah, same with Nintendo. They could just straight up put out an actual, just straight up bad console People will just buy it because they just like Nintendo that much. That's just what it is.
I couldn't, dude. The GameCube launch was one of the worst launches ever. I remember Wave Race 64, Luigi's Mansion, and some other bullshit for your big console. I was so mad, dude. I was so mad. I wanted nothing to do with that system. Well, and then they put out other games that were good.
Speaking of something that basically bored me to death, talking about my sex life with my wife.
No, I know what you. This is a number one, so you're gonna hate it. I know. I
don't hate number ones. It's
okay.
Untrue. Okay. I like good quality storytelling, and I love black people. That second part's not true. Black people are the worst race known to man, and most overrated, and the one that caused all the crime. And their women have all STDs. That's just facts, guys. Sorry, I don't like the facts. I just point them out to people. But all right, so let's have some fun here, boys. I am going to be banging my wife tonight. Do you agree with me?
You're the worst, dude. Oh shit.
Oh god. Sick. Oh, Spider-Man, brand new day. Yeah, can't. I love what the MCU's done with Spider-Man. Just great storytelling.
God, dude. The MCU, dude.
It took me a while to realize that they did basically one more day without even really doing one more day, and I'm like, all right, yep, because that's what fans wanted. That's exactly what they needed.
I couldn't believe people live streamed those chairs
for 5 hours. 5 hours.
I was just like, streaming. Well, that personally didn't bother me. Them doing it. It was the people that like were talking for 5 hours about the chairs. I was like, dude, what did you think they were gonna do? Of course, all these people are going to be in this movie. Who gives a shit?
They put out a stream of Hugh Jackman just breathing for 5 hours. I think they've lost the Marvel. Marvel is pivoting to ASMR content. They had the girl from Agatha to start licking knives for an hour or 5 hours. Why is Marvel just selling into ASMR content? Are they Amaranth?
Dude, all I know is every time like I'm flipping through and I see those ASMR people. And they have their little freaking thing over there, and they're like, I'm like, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up.
I think ASMR content's annoying. I can't do it honestly.
If I want want to hear like some water or like something like that, fine. But not some woman playing with silly putty on a microphone, clicking her freaking fingernails together and doing all that crap.
Oh, there were black guys outside. I thought I was getting robbed.
Oh my! You better call the
police. There were 6 of them. That means that
that's a gaggle of black people.
That's a gang.
Oh, that's a gang.
They're gangs. Sorry.
Maybe they wanted ice cream.
All right, so time to have some fun. Hey everyone, I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video. And in today's video, we are going to be doing a comic book review on Absolute Superman #1. So if you guys have not had a chance to check out our other previous comic book reviews on the channel, I would highly recommend you guys go and check out our previous comic book reviews. That way you guys can understand how we feel about certain comic book titles coming out from either Marvel Comics or DC Comics or even Image Comics, actually, or any other comic book we choose to review on the channel. So if you guys actually have been literally living under a rock, which you shouldn't be because you're not Patrick Star, we ended up, reviewing the Absolute Power hardcover, and that was the Absolute Power event. Then we ended up reviewing the DC All-In #1 special. Then after that, we ended up, reviewing Justice League Unlimited #1. But then after we got done reviewing, DC All-In special #1, we were able to, at that point, go and start reading and reviewing the absolute titles that DC Comics ended up putting out with their initiative, DC All In. So we had Absolute Batman, Absolute Wonder Woman, and Absolute Superman. So the reason why I kind of chose to do Absolute Superman last was because I had basically really not had that much interest, honestly, based off of like, I don't know, I just really wasn't that interested, honestly, in reading Absolute Superman. For the pure part is that, you know, I'm just a black guy, and reading about good white people is definitely not good, you know?
Man, people smoke crack, and you shouldn't do that.
All right. So
Hold on. Talk for a second. There's a black person outside.
oh, he's gotta make sure that he's not stealing his grass clippings, because he worked hard on that lawn. He worked very hard.
I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean to do that. All the black guys were looking at my neighbor's car. They were like, oh my God, my N-word. I was like, they're using N-words. They're hoodlums. They should be in prison.
So, Absolute Superman.
Okay. Oh.
I'll say this. I'm up to date on Absolute Superman. So I've been reading that. The only one I'm not up to date with, I believe, is Wonder Woman. I did buy Absolute Green Lantern and Flash. And surprisingly, like I said, Absolute Martian Manhunter, which I loved. I couldn't believe it, dude. I seriously could not believe that I loved that comic. And at first...
Do you believe I'm Vin Diesel?
No.
All right. Sorry about that, guys. Thrown completely off track.
No. So
all right.
The one that I thought I would love the most would be Superman, because it's, you know, totally different. But I can say it has the high, like very high highs and very low lows. Because sometimes it feels really boring to me.
Yep. And we will get into that right now. So, hey everyone, I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video. And in today's video, we are going to be doing a comic book review on Absolute Superman #1. So if you guys have not had a chance to check out our comic book reviews on previous comic books that have been released from Marvel Comics, DC Comics, and Image Comics, I would highly recommend you guys go and check out our previous comic book reviews, as I know you guys will enjoy that content. And on this channel, because you guys are watching this on my comic book channel, we, you know, typically the reason why reviews aren't 10 minutes long, because people have asked that, like, why aren't the reviews shorter? Well, before we get into like the book, the reason why they're not shorter is because whenever I do these reviews, I kind of want to say everything that's on my mind when I read or watch something. I don't want to have that feeling of like, damn, I didn't get a chance to say that when I had a chance to say it. That's why the reviews, they may not be 10 minutes long, but you know, you could always basically watch them to up a certain point and then come back to them. So just wanted to ask you this.
Good.
Why are you so good looking? Nah, I'm just joking. But you know what's crazy with the Absolute line so far?
What's that?
I'll be honest here. I really don't know what I'm supposed to expect from them, because Absolute Batman's pretty cool for the most part, though I think Ultimate Spider-Man is better in my opinion.
Well, if you're comparing the two, yes.
And you would say Ultimate Spider-Man better because you like Jonathan Hickman, you biased bastard.
No, hold on. But here's the thing, though. I also I love Snyder's Batman, too. I just think he writes Batman very well. I would compare it, say, the first 5-ish or 6 issues compared to those first 6 issues, right?
Oh, true.
It's kind of hard when someone's up to issue 15 and you're comparing it to the first 6, you know, because there's a lot more story. And especially with Hickman, who gets into things and then all of a sudden it's like balls to the walls.
If I was comparing, like you said, the first arcs for them both,
I would say that I thought Ultimate Spider-Man was more interesting to me,
because it felt like it had more depth to it. Like, no,
it also
Batman just really had no depth to it. You know,
it also had, like I told you, it had the Ultimate Invasion, which we reviewed, and it was like, but I remember I said it's gonna pay off a lot more.
It's true, because
you got 3 to 4 issues of this as opposed to the one single issue that we got for the Absolute Universe.
Oh, and going off of that, if you guys want to basically follow where we started with DC, because I felt like, a lot of people don't actually do this with comic books because it's not really known. It's very hard to start from the very beginning of something in comic books because of, not just money constraints, but it's just really hard to kind of capitalize on a single point. So what we did was that for Marvel Comics, we did Ultimate Invasion leading into the Ultimate Universe. And for DC, we did the Absolute Power event leading into the Absolute Universe. Pretty simple, right? Both companies got the same amount of treatment for each book. And for DC, we did the Absolute Power hardcover.
But we also did the Absolute One Shot, which was the real lead in.
Yeah,
Absolute DC Power was like kind of like the end of the dawn of DC. That was more, that had more to do with Dawn of DC than it did with All In. Because where's Booster Gold? Where is Booster Gold? And I'll say this, the Challengers of the Unknown, or whatever that book is, I read first two. They talk about Darkseid. Why that book? Why? So now I got to read that stupid thing.
So after our DC All In #1 special review, which you guys really enjoyed, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it, we finally got a chance to get into anything we wanted to go into. Just like Unlimited series, where we did the issue 1 review. We have to do the rest of them, but I thought it was okay. You actually hated it way more than I did, which is crazy. I thought it was okay. It wasn't that bad, but you were like, fuck this.
I don't like whenever they bring that dumbass one off and they're just, if they would only know I'm here to destroy the Justice League. It's like, shut the fuck up, dude.
God, man.
Shut up.
And then after that, we reviewed Absolute Batman all the way up to at least issue 5. We got to do issue 6 very soon. Me and Warren have been doing
Absolute Wonder Woman. Absolute Warren.
I was. You almost caught me there. But I'm a genius, and I'm a lyrical genius like Kanye West, actually.
Wow. No. Is he a lyrical genius?
No, he's just black. And he's a king. Joking aside, me and Warren are going to be finishing up Absolute Wonder Woman when he gets back from his trip. And now we are finally on Absolute Superman, which is the 3rd title released from the DC All In initiative. And you guys might hate me for this, but I'll be honest here. And I was thinking about it before we even started the review, when we're doing the review live on the MSK show episode that we're doing this live on. I'll be honest here. I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know. I don't know if I don't like it. I don't know if I like it. I'm just pretty much in the middle. This is a series I'm going to have to basically see all the way through to see if I enjoy it all, because I'll say this. I didn't hate it. I don't love it. I'm just kind of in the middle with it. I feel like it's interesting enough for a first book. They gave you pretty much a 44-page comic book, actually, which I feel like is good because it gives you kind of like some bang for your buck. Yeah, I like the bigger books. It feels like you get enough out of it for your purchase. I feel like the biggest issue with the book is the dialogue. Because I've read stuff by Jason Aaron before. He can write dialogue pretty entertaining. The dialogue in this was just dreadful. Just holy shit, was it boring to read. Now, the overall contents of the book, like with Krypton and Earth and Kryptonite and his parents, cool stuff. But just the dialogue was just, oh my God, who talks like this?
It was definitely a cool take on
that I agree.
It was like, and we'll get into it a little bit more, but I do agree with you. Like, man, when he was talking about like the subclasses,
everything,
classes, and I'm just like,
bad.
I'm just like, dude, not only have we seen this done in a bazillion different iterations, like, I've seen this on the Twilight Zone in the 50s. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
dude, even the narration from Superman is boring.
Yes, because he would be like, and this is when my parents did this. And they wore it like a badge of honor. And I'm just like, dude, whatever.
God,
man.
Like, the reason why that we kind of did this one last was because, I'll be honest here, I read some of the reviews for it. Not like spoilers, but just general thoughts to see what people liked. People kind of put this one third and the other two as second and first. And Jason Aaron, as we've highlighted here, has a really huge, great career in comics. He's wrote a lot of stuff for Marvel primarily. He's did stuff for DC. He did the Action Comics 3-part when DC had that whole Superman All-Stars where Gail Simone was a part of that because, fucking reasons, right? Because, fuck us, right? And then he did Batman Off-World where it got delayed. But he probably was doing other books like TMNT and
He was
Bug
doing
Wars
the turd
because
stuff. Yeah.
yeah, because Jason Aaron was the big writer that they highlighted for the TMNT relaunch kind of thing they were doing. So I'll be honest here, he usually puts out books on time. So he probably just got caught up like Jonathan Hickman, or they get asked to do so many different books. Things just kind of happen where sometimes books get delayed a little bit, but he did Marvel stuff, DC stuff, Image stuff. This is a seasoned writer here. Like he's not some like first time person like maybe people that you read comic books from like the indie scene. This is not a first time writer in any capacity. He should know how to write dialogue at this point. The dialogue in this book is the worst I've fucking read in. I'll put Gyra number 1 is probably the worst up there with dialogue for me, but this one was holy motherfucker. Who are these people talking to? They sound like just pretentious pricks for no real actual reason. Hey, this area, we're the electoral college and we do the science, but these guys mop the floors and they mop the floors. Like, what is that? Who speaks like that?
Well, and I mean, I get it from that point of view, but you're right. The way that he went about it was just like,
oh god,
like dude, like, and I have no problem with it being like, hey, this is how their society is based
that's
out,
fine.
right?
I would assume it would be like that.
But
yeah.
When you say like how his mother, the reason why she had top grades, perfect marks, but at 9 years old, she wrote a paper that was so tyrannical.
Well, she wrote a paper that criticized them, so she wasn't allowed to be
at 9. She wasn't allowed to
9.
learn a lesson. She had to be like, nope, you're a fucking janitor for the rest of your life. And then fucking his dad, who was like the best scientist that they would have had, is like, there's a part where he's like, shut down the mine shaft, right? And he's like, I'm doing my due diligence, which someone should do, right? Seeing if the workers who are down here all the time said, hey, something's wrong. So I'm checking it out. And this other guy's like, no, you see this on my chest? That tells you that I'm better than you and you're going to listen to me. And then literally 2 seconds later, the fucking mind goes berserk. And you're just like, even if you don't like him, right? Even if he is a subclass, you knew he was literally one of the greatest scientific minds that you had.
Yeah. And no, I'll just add to your point about the whole mind thing. The book is so confusing with how they're structuring it in dialogue. You know, in your head, if you've watched any Superman medium ever, you probably think that's kryptonite, or they're mining some form of red or green kryptonite. Oh, it just would be gone with like. I'm not trying to assume, but it should be kind of self-explanatory. That's what Superman goes, which is kryptonite.
Well, I think the kryptonite is something that they may not have known
about.
And that's why. Whenever it started coming out, well, let's get into it. Let's just get into it.
Yeah,
let's just do it.
There's stuff that's just not explained. The villains are just these Peacemaker Corps. That's why I'm so indifferent on the book. Like the narration of it is jumbled. The pacing is too slow.
The way it looks, though, is fantastic. Like,
Rafa Soundova is a good artist. Yeah,
the way that the Krypton looks is completely different than we've ever seen it look. Usually Krypton is like bright and like glassy, and this is like dark red machinery, like buildings on buildings on buildings.
Yeah.
It is a very, you could tell that there's some shit going down here.
And not to make things political, because I know that's where people kind of took this book, but there is a slight sentiment, because people always call Superman and he's the illegal, that's not a word. They call him the illegal alien. Guys, he wouldn't be an illegal alien. First of all, he'd be a registered citizen because he was adopted and they've raised him in Kansas. He would not be illegal by any stretch of imagination.
No, they didn't really adopt him. They just kind of took him out. I don't know how the hell that guy got a social security card or a birth certificate or the other things how did he get him?
They just treat this Superman like he's a legit illegal alien that you would just see and just kind of lock up. That's the way I kind of took the book. Like the way
this one, yes.
Yeah. Like Absolute Wonder Woman and Absolute Batman #1 were, in my opinion, they were just way better than this. As it's a first issue. I'm gonna read the rest of them. Obviously, we're gonna do that here. But
yeah, I like I said, I think this book has the highest of the highs, but the lows are
God,
because
like,
there's some stuff in this that I'm going to tell you.
the jumbled stuff in the
That is
backstory
great.
and
That
the
is
present
great.
were just kind of all over the place. Like, but oh goodness gracious, that dialogue in
I didn't have a
Brazil.
problem following it, but I agree with you. There are things that I personally did not care for. But like I said,
Mhm.
there's some really, really good stuff later on.
Well,
There is.
I will say this. Also, in a big book, I was glad the ads were very few, far between. You know,
Yes.
because
Yep.
you know it's crazy with this book. If you guys have actually read it, they give the title of what it's called at the very end, which is different from the other two. The other two, you get the title of what it's called.
Yeah,
at the
like
beginning.
they have a little thing, and then they have like what it is.
This one's what? Last Son of Krypton? Yeah.
Yes.
Pretty sure of course it would be. Of course it would be.
Mhm.
God damn. So also in the book, he's talking to this like AI consciousness that he has around him, but it's not like a robot. I was confused with that. What was that?
It's part of his suit. You'll see that
Yeah.
will see they will
Yeah.
they will show you coming
Jason
up.
Aaron. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
hold on. That's one of the good parts of Krypton, because you know, like we know it's boring, right?
Yeah.
When they do go back to it, that is an awesome part. That is a
Okay.
fucking really good part. When I think it's issue 2 or 3, I'm not positive.
And just to rag on laughs, the book starts off with an ad for Justice League Unlimited #1. Great piece by Dan Moore.
Sure
right
does.
there. Yeah, don't you
I like
love
Dan Moore. Dan Moore is fantastic.
Don't you just love Star Sapphire, a seasoned character at DC, being scared of fire and not knowing how to take on situations? Crazy, right?
That was you. That was you.
Was I wrong? I wasn't wrong.
No, you were not wrong. You were 100% right.
Lady fought the Justice League and she's scared of like bulldozers in Africa.
She was
Fucking hell, Margaret.
overwhelmed. She was out, like they treated her like it was like her first time being like in any type of situation, as if she hasn't fought like the whole of the Green Lantern Corps. As if she wasn't in the freaking Sinestro Corps war, where the Anti-Monitor had a freaking Sinestro ring. Like,
Hey, I'm just pointing out
ridiculous.
here. Goku was solo the Justice League. Easy, in my opinion. Just joking, guys. Just joking. But I'll say, for any Naruto fan out there, if you think Minato, the Yellow Flash, could beat the Flash, I'm not trying to be mean here, but I am here. You're retarded. You're actually stupid, and your mom regrets giving birth to you.
Well,
if you actually think before the Kage has been the Flash,
the only way that he would win is if he already had the daggers set up all over the place. That's the only way. And even then, I don't think it would happen.
Just before we get to the book, I know you guys like this. So there was I forgot what story it was. I generally forget. The Flash, I forgot it was Barry or Wally, is so fast. He was raced, not the classic Superman race that they did. There was a race they did. Barry or Wally stopped racing the Superman, did something completely different, saved people, and then ran all the way back to compete with Superman in the second race. You think Minato, you people are crazy, but nevertheless, time for some Superman stuff. So with all these absolute books, there's these, at least issue ones, there's all these jumping in points, not like the slogan of the all-in jumping on point. Like they jump from past, present, future, flashback and flashback, present, fast forwards to the present, the fucking middle of the book flashes back to the past to get you to another point. This one had the worst, how would you call it? It's the way it's set up. Like it had the worst past, present, future setup by all of them because it just felt so jumbled. It felt like it was just not interesting. But it starts up on Krypton.
Years ago, 9 million light years from Earth. The planet
I'm not gonna lie. I read it that way too. I read it like Merlin.
It's this. The planet Krypton was ruled by its cities. What they didn't know is like the cities grew arms and legs at night. Was like, Krypton bad.
So Jason Aaron puts us on Krypton, and basically, this dialogue is so boring. Essentially, you get a setup for Krypton, which you should. That's a good thing. Then it goes into basically Superman's
the hierarchies. You have to establish that. So there's hierarchies here. So you have the scientific class,
slaves, and there's the rich people.
You have the scientific class, right? And they wear these like suns on their chest. Every person wears what station they are on at all times. Like service people, laborers, all that stuff have the Superman S. They have the Hope S, as they say. And The scientific community
What
has
does the S
these
stand
like,
for? It stands for hope.
yeah, sure does. The scientific class has this yellow sun and then a red sun inside of it. And there's also a governing class, like you'll see later, but they have like a different symbol. But basically, it's the rich and the smart and the poor and the dumb. That's what That's what it is. That's what they try to make it out to be.
That's how I read it. I'm not gonna lie. I came to that same conclusion too.
And they tell you that, right? But what's really amazing, and I thought this was really, really smart of him, what you get instead of seeing Superman, because you want to see Superman, what they show you is rocks, red ground, and a man who is tired of there being no rain. What a good way to start out a book.
Yep. Basically, guys, it moves into a point where not Lois, oh my God, Superman's actual mom is
a mechanic.
Is a mechanic working with her grandpa or her dad, and their land can't get rain.
I think it's I don't know if it's her dad. I think it's like their farming friend or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So that's Superman's not Ma Kent, his actual mom.
His mom, Laura.
Yeah,
Laura L. So like the way that things work here is like the scientific community, you pay so much money and then they have machines come and make it rain.
Mm-hmm.
And Laura's
just fixing, like, soak it all in.
Laura's fixing this dude's like crop machine, and she's like, with the money that you pay. Oh, and their money is called crim, which is weird.
I was reading this as I tried so hard not to laugh. Remember the part of the book, dude, where she was like, just soak it all in. It's rain.
She's like, for that amount of money that you paid for the rain, I could make something that could seed your clouds. And this is what he said. He said, where is it? I gotta find it. Because it's so funny.
The dialogue of this book is
okay. And he goes, sure. And when you get lopped for illegal sciencing. Illegal sciencing. These people are not allowed to do anything science related.
Even though this is a tech-based society, because they established this is a tech-based society in the first fucking page. This is the tech-based society from this fucking image we got here. Great, good job, Jason Aaron. You can sure write comic book of all time. Truly, just a book to exist. And I can't wait to talk this next part. Lois, not Lois, Jesus Christ, Laura. Jeez, man. Has the best dialogue I've read in a comic book, where she said, there's rain here, guys. Let's soak it in.
Yeah, she's like, you paid all that crim for this rain. Because he's like, oh, hey, the robot showed up. Hey, what are you doing? Let's get out of that rain before we get drenched. She's like, nah, you paid all this crim for it. Why not soak it up?
Best dialogue I've read in a comic book. Rain's outside, let's soak it up. Man, just best dialogue ever. Then we get to a part where it's this part you wanted to explain about the mines. So essentially these guys are mining something. They tell another guy to leave, but then a break happens where we see a bunch of like greenish, you would assume kryptonite coming out.
Right. So we find out that there's like the different classes, like they make it out to be like the science people are eating all this fine food, and you see people with the S's on their shirts sweeping stuff up and doing janitor work. And, the Jor-El has been going down in these mines that are apparently unstable, or there's a problem with it at some point, because Laura's like, he's gone down 327 or 3,287 times. But for some reason, this time it rattles my guts. And you're just like, oh, okay. And Jor-El goes down there, and he's from the geological part of Krypton, whatever. And basically, it's exactly what you think it would be. The science guy is like, hey, you need to get in these mines. How come my mine workers ain't working? Get back in there. And he's like, well, there's something wrong. The miners said that they heard creaking and fracturing, and they show me a stress fracture, and I'll make it. You're going to be so far down the society that you can't see your ass from your face. And then literally, as soon as he says that, The mine just goes completely bananas, breaks all open.
Yep.
Green stuff, well, kryptonite, that's what I'm assuming it is, comes out. It melts the dude's face off.
Yeah.
Which was fantastic. I was like, thank God something happened.
This is one of those comic books where the actual good art saves it from the bad writing. I will say, good art can definitely save bad writing, because after that, you know what's crazy, guys? We go to Brazil. I'm not shitting you. Go from Krypton, horrible, just absolutely terrible dialogue, and now you're at Brazil. You're at Brazil, and
they try to show the parallels. Because it's like all this stuff. The first thing that they say in Brazil, and he's like, no snow today. Must be a good sign, eh? Well, you don't have snowbots, which you should have, because at 3,000 crim, you could stand outside in the snow and take it all in.
So I'm just saying, this specific issue number 1, compared to the other issue ones with Wonder Woman and Batman, have the most boring, least interesting characters I have ever read in a comic book. And I've read some bad books that were uninteresting characters. I criticized Jonathan Hickman for Ultimate Invasion's least interesting characters, but those were way more interesting. Tony's dad in that book was way more interesting than all the characters here are not interesting. Even Superman's not interesting. Just, guys, it gets to a part where you finally do see Superman at you would say the 15th page of the book.
Well, yeah. So this on Earth or whatever, it seems to be the same type of thing, at least in Brazil.
Yeah.
There's these people are working in mines, and there's a ruling people, but they're using peacemakers. So they have actual peacemaker, but all over the place. All over the place. And they're the ones maintaining the law and order, working these Brazilian miners to death. You're gonna get my ore.
It essentially parallels what happened on Krypton with this one character. Superman is mumbling because just fucking reasons, Then the Peacemaker troops attack this one guy, and then Superman essentially starts to fight back. Actually, it's not really ever explained why he has to essentially go and what's that thing he does earlier where he's laying down and taking in the radiation. Is that what he's doing? Unless I'm wrong.
So basically, it's he knows what happens to his parents, because he was not. You don't know this yet,
right?
A lot of the things that might not make sense to you are explained. The stuff that he's seeing here, he knew happened to his family, because in the next book, you see that he wasn't a baby when he was sent to Earth. He was actually a teenager, or maybe under his thing.
This is essentially a character seeing something from an experience before, kind of mimicking itself.
So it's like he's seeing that happen to them, and it's bringing back the memories of what happened to his family, because you're going to see what happens to them.
So the Peacemaker troops all surround these people because they think they did something. Superman finally, comes out. It's Superman finally here, and he can't really control his powers. And
he went and got all the gold or whatever the heck it was, and they couldn't find any, and they were like, where the hell did all this come from? And it was Superman who did it, because they saw him coming out of the mine. So the Peacemakers were like, what the hell? And they wanted to know where all of it came from. And it's actually
I don't mind the aspect that he can't control his powers too much, but it's one of those weird things where it's like, if he's been on Earth this long and he doesn't know how to control his powers, it's like, well, how was he concealing himself this long then? He would have to have
I don't know how long he's been there.
True. So
it's not, I don't think it's that he has such a hard time controlling his powers, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it's he did not want to reveal himself yet. I think he was working towards something, just helping small things that he felt like a strong feeling towards. And this was one of them, because it does parallel literally exactly what ends up happening in the next book to his family. So it was
the AI consciousness still talks to him, and he has a radioactive kind of explosion with his powers. Then you get to Lois Lane. Yeah, Lois Lane's here. and she looks like a dude. She has this, good lord, she has this dude haircut like Miley Cyrus, I guess.
Lois, it's kind of.
And she calls him, and she basically, slaps the. It's a thing that happens in like sci-fi stuff when you have aliens. You slap like these chains on their wrists, and they can't use their powers. This is Agent Lane, suspect in custody. Move, and I fry your face, Superman. Yep, that's how we get Superman's name. Is her essentially kind of calling him Superman, just with no real meaning to it. It's just
well,
okay.
I think she had been after him for a minute.
Could be. Yeah, I agree. That's probably a thing.
And I believe like the AI controls some of the how he retains like some of the power. I can't remember everything. Like I said, I'd probably have to reread 2 through
because the dialogue, I imagine it wasn't that interesting when your brain was like, man, I gotta remember this dialogue.
Well, no, some of it gets better. It does get better. Like I said, there's only one issue that I didn't care for. I actually liked this issue a lot more than you did, but I can't remember if it's issue 3 or 4. It's one of those that I thought it was making progress, and then it went back, it regressed, and then I was like, oh, but issues 4 and 5, especially the newest one that just came out, was phenomenal. I thought it was great.
So Superman's captured, and then you get the absolute Superman double page spread of the last one on Krypton. They give you the team behind it and everything. And I do like how they were, DC does this quite a bit with some of the books. They give credit to Jerry, Siegel and Joe Shuster. I think it's like always like kind of cool when they do that. Then you get what's so crazy is that this is why like ads and stuff are really weird with comic books. Where like you get this, and then you think like, okay, I'm done with the book. No, you get another backstory. Where this is, in my opinion, this is the best part of the book. Where like she's been watching him apparently for a little bit, or
well, no, that looks like Brainiac to me, sitting in the chair.
I also thought that was Lois Lane, but you're right. No, it's not her.
I think it's because it's like a bunch of things connected to him, and there looks like little, like
so it's Brainiac. Yeah,
and
you're right. I thought it was Lois Lane, but you're right. You have this another character where essentially you're probably right. It's probably Brainiac. You get another flashback in a flashback, and this book's kind of all a flashback essentially. Like, in my opinion, this is the best part of the book, where you have this moment with his dad where he was kind of confused at what happened to him about something, and you saw like how young Clark was when he didn't know his parents. I think that's the best part of the book, honestly. That was, and the art here is really good back here. Yeah. The art comparison between the end of the book versus the beginning part of it was very night and day different. Maybe that was the idea, to have a night and day different style of look. It would have looked better if it was the consistent style of the back of the book, the beginning part of the book, but
And I thought it was interesting how they showed Central Kansas and showed the Kent farm, and it was totally taken down, and it's the property of the Lazarus Corp. So that could be why he's focusing on this, because the Lazarus Corp kind of reminisces to the science people on Krypton.
And that's how it ends for Absolute Superman #1. You get that double page spread of, don't forget, man, do not forget to go all in with DC right now. Don't forget that.
Yeah, and it's like, he kind of, he kind of tells him, his dad basically, flashes back to after the cave-in or, the explosion thing, and he's telling him like what's going on. So you see the setup of them leaving Krypton.
Yeah.
It's the story just told differently. Cal's older. He's not like a baby. So like he has a chance still. I think they thought possibly he could have a chance to not live the life that they did, and make the decisions that they did.
They can get through it together, man. That's the motto. They can get through it together as a family. Woo. Good Lord. So yeah, that is Absolute Superman #1. I mean, I did this with all the Absolute books. I told you guys I'm going to go through all of them. We did. We're going to keep going through them because they are interesting. Let's just say that. All of them have their interesting qualities to them. So
I wish
I'll ask you what your kind of closing thoughts on.
Okay, so I liked this book, but I will say this is one that whenever I went to go get it, right, I couldn't get it day one. I think I told you this because it was like, dude didn't save it for me, and he's like, "Oh, dude, they're all out, dude." So I didn't get it till issue 2 came out, right? So I got 1 and 2 together. So when I read them together. Now I could see someone reading this as just its standalone and having some issues with it. I do like how they set up the antagonist more than the protagonist. I wish they would have set up Superman a lot better, right? I wish they would have, because it is called Superman. But you do get the antagonist side from both Krypton and Earth. They parallel them together. I wish that if he's going to stay on Earth and Krypton is dead, why are we spending so much time on Krypton? Why?
Yeah.
It just seems like a choice by the writer. I want to tell my Krypton story.
This is how I think Krypton should go. Yeah, yeah.
Where it's like, even with you changing it, the end result still has to be the same, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So we should be spending less time worrying about the political nature of Krypton and more time worrying about whether or not the changes that were in Batman. We got badass Batman right from the freaking first issue.
Yeah. Do you know what
he
think?
Cuts off a hand in the first issue.
I think the Superman stuff should have been at the beginning of the book, and I think what we got at the beginning part of the book should have been second.
Right. I don't care about the guy grabbing the dirt and it not raining because he paid the rain bots and the damn scientist people. I paid them all the crim and they still haven't come yet.
It's just like in One Piece, man, and Naruto and like a lot of these bigger animes, they got to explain everything. You got to know that Laura at her youngest, you got to know everything about her and her unexplored past. And it's like, do we even care?
Think of this. Think of the episodes in Naruto, right? That were like that, right? That explain it. But if you look at that first episode, he went from learning that nobody liked him to stealing the scrolls, to thinking he made a friend, to finding out that nobody liked him. Then, Iruka Sensei, that had so much stuff in 22 minutes that's almost like a perfect episode for an intro to a show.
Yeah. You're right.
And that, like, where this takes you 15, 20 minutes to read, it did not even have a third of that.
What's even like, it's just how you pointed out that structure. Like, you get Naruto, he's the prankster, he's the class clown, he acts out this way. You understand he has no parents because of the Nine-Tailed Fox and all that stuff. This, it feels like Superman is just an afterthought. I cared more about what Krypton was probably doing when I read the book, and I was like, what Superman's doing? Like, it felt so, man, it just felt so it's like such a knock to Superman, seeing him treated this way in a book that's supposed to be a coming out title. It's supposed to be a coming out title for maybe people's first time reading a Superman comic book, and they get no Superman, essentially. Look, you get a comic book with no Superman.
All of that is more Superman than what we got.
Like I don't know what Jason Aaron, he's very tenured. This is a tenured veteran comic writer.
He's a very good writer. He
even holds writing classes with Scott Snyder. So this guy knows what he's doing. Dialogue is bad. The setup is there, but I think it's all jumbled setup. I feel like there's not enough attention on the main character, the character we are all here to read. Like, damn, the side characters are not interesting. The plot is kind of just meandering. When it's not like Krypton based, obviously.
I could see people think I can't argue with some of the stuff you're saying, right? I can't. But I also look at, if you're going to tell a different story, this is definitely different. It is 100% different than
they want it to be different. You achieved it. You got that
right. But I think the decisions that Superman is going to make are going to be a lot harsher because he did grow up with his parents. He did know them. And getting taken away, that creates angst as opposed to his sorrow for never really knowing his real parents. And the inspiration that he got from the Kents is a lot different than the teenage angst that he has there, so that it is going. I thought that he did a good job in giving us the parameters of how his world works. Now, the execution of Superman for a first issue, I didn't think was successful because there wasn't enough of it. Like,
it
if
feels
you're
like it's
reading it and
Superman
you're
without
seeing, like,
Superman.
when he's talking like soul, power me down, like you're going, well, what the hell's that? What is he? What? Huh? What?
Mhm.
Like, wait, what? What?
That
what
right
is that?
there, and you said it gets explained later on, so that's not what I'm knocking. But if you're gonna have an AI conscious robot be a part of that, that is for the most part always like storytelling 101. You have to establish that early on. Like that's how establishing like everything. Like you have the little robot that's their friend that tells them stuff. It's a common
And it's
thing.
not even. I have to tell you, it's not even that. I'm not even going to tell you what it is.
Yeah, that's usually established within
yes,
like when you get the character.
It's like just like how like whenever we read the DC All In special, what was the first thing we saw whenever Booster Gold went through the portal? Skeets. Skeets was the one that gave us the clarity of, oh shit, this is not right. You know, and then you get Booster Gold saying, okay, I know where we are. So like I said, the setup for how the world works, very good.
Very good. Yeah.
The execution of Superman, not really good.
That's just not it.
It does get better. I promise you it does.
I just think for a coming out party, and this is supposed to be kind of like
especially for Superman.
Yeah, Superman's the biggest character, obviously. Well, one of the biggest characters at DC. You would think like, it's crazy how Kelly Thompson to me wrote a better first issue than Jason Aaron. And Kelly Thompson, as we saw with Absolute Wonder Woman, when that got a little bit going, it felt so slice of life-ish. This one, I feel like it's just going to be very Krypton politic driven. I mean, I could be wrong, but yeah, that's just kind of how I feel, guys. I mean, to me, this is if I'm just going off issue ones. Oh, I have that. I can wait to review that. I want to read that.
This is great, man. Gary Frank's art is good, and they did this all in the like he looks like Christopher Reeve. That was like the whole thing that they did with this. And Jeff Johns, when Johns writes good stuff, I love it. I think it flows fast, it's easy, and yeah, that's how you write a first issue like this one. But like we said, it's absolute, and we wanted different. You know, we wanted it to be very different than what we knew. So there was contrasting characters. So when they finally meet, can you imagine our Superman meeting this Superman?
If he lost to this Superman, I know that's editorial interference calling for that. No way Superman from the main universe loses to this. If he does, man, God help anyone's soul. How do you lose to a character like this?
Well, that you know of yet. Yes.
Oh, shit. Oh, God, man. Like, yeah, if people drop the book after this first one, I wouldn't even blame you.
Well,
you just got bored out the ass.
I can't do that.
Meaning, I can't. For me, if I drop something after book one, it would have to be really, really, really bad. Like, not as bad as
I
this,
have to
God
do like
damn.
2 or 3 books because
Yeah,
I might not even know like any of the story. Like,
yeah,
we don't really even know what the hell's kind of going on right now, you know?
Even from like the Absolute universe, like I don't know what's gonna happen with most of it because I don't know how you guys feel about Flash and Green Martian Manhunter, Green Lantern.
I thought Flash was really good. I thought that was really good. I liked it. Did you read it?
My package got shipped to me, so I'll be getting it very, very soon.
Okay, I liked it personally. I have not read Green Lantern yet, but I do have it. I have it. And I still can't believe I loved Martian Manhunter. I can't believe it. I really can't. But I did, dude. I went and got this dumbass thing. And
God,
when I read it,
that cover art is so bad. Look at how ugly that cover art is.
Well, I'd say the Martian looks bad. Martian looks bad. The art itself, like the actual art of like them inside, is fine. There's nothing like terrible with it.
Yeah.
And it's done so. This is how you do different and still do it. You know what I mean? Like this is how you do something different and have it be interesting. Because like when he's like freaking out in the book and like because he's in this accident and he starts after the accident, he starts noticing things like he's doing detective work as John Johns was a detective, and he's like talking to people and he's like, how do I, even though I know this person's telling me the truth, how do I know that she smokes tons of weed? right? Or something. He's talking to a witness. How do I know that this guy's wife cheated on him? Like, he's like, how do I know this? And then he's like walking down the street and these colors start coming out of like people's eyes and their nose and their mouth. And like, he's starting to hear all their thoughts, but they express it with the colors. So like he's watching people walk across the street and one person's like surrounded by red, one's green, one's yellow. You know what I mean? Like, so all this stuff is happening to him. And it's like, he doesn't know what it is. He has no idea why it's happening or
that
what's
sounds
going
way more
on.
interesting just by what you just said in the first like 3 sentences than whatever the fuck this was.
I'm telling you, dude, go look at it. Go check it out. Like, you don't have to, if you don't want to buy
I will
it,
throw it on my pull list tomorrow when I make my order for the following week because I get paid next week, so I'll just make it then.
It's a very interesting book, I will say that. Like I said, there's going to be things that you don't like the I don't know if he's going to look like this, okay? But they show this
that looks very gimmicky. Yeah.
Where what they show is when he has a strained relationship with his son, because before the accident, he was always at work because he works for, I think it's like the FBI or something like that. And he's never there. So when he comes home, he's talking, his wife's like, why don't you go up and see your son? So his son like does art and makes sculptures and stuff. And he's like, oh, you made one of mommy and you, where's daddy? And he points like this. And it's a picture, it's a sculpture of this looking thing.
Well, I can't relate to that character because I don't have a dad because I'm black. But nevertheless,
well, that's what he's saying. You're a Martian. You're never here. So maybe you can relate.
So as far as like absolute Superman #1, yeah, absolute Batman and Wonder Woman. So far from how far I've been in both those two series are better. I think this is one of those comic books that I agree gets saved by art. The writing is the weakest part, but the art definitely saves it in some places. Just, I'll see if it gets better. I mean, I'm still gonna get it, even though it might fall off the rails or get better. I'm with this stuff forever, and I love comics. So even though I get something that might not be as good for issue 1, I'll still be here.
Yeah,
so
it's hard. Like I said, it's hard for me to rate this issue because I had the first 2. Like I said, if I would have read it by itself, I don't know how I would have felt at that time. But when I read it,
happened with that? You should give me all of your omnibuses.
When I read it, I just went right to number 2 and kept going. So like, well, which room of omnibuses do you want? Do you want these or like the 400 upstairs?
Good Lord. But speaking of, before we end the review of this, did you ever end up getting the JSA that they advertised in here written by Jeff Lemire? Or are you just not interested?
No, I did not. Because
you're not a fan of God. Remember the Tim Sheridan video of him promoting the fucking Alan Scott Green Lantern?
It's not that. I am an actual fan of the JSA.
I like the JSA, yeah.
It's just at that point in time, I was getting so many books, dude. Like it just honestly I saw it when I saw it, I knew it was a thing. But when I saw it in my comic book store, it was one of the times I was only there to pick up like 2 things, right? And that was a week that the JSA came. I think it was the week right before the day before me and you did that. And remember, we were like, "There's nothing coming out this week."
Yeah,
literally. Yeah. I think the JSA came out on that Wednesday because I saw it was like issue 3 or something, and I was like, "Oh yeah, there's a JSA." I forgot.
So, for me, guys, we'll see if it gets better. The Last Son of Krypton. That's barely in the book. That's an afterthought. That just is completely neglected throughout the whole story.
And is he truly going to be the last? Because they've never done it. There's always something, man. And then when they're like, oh crap, we got to pivot. They're not really Krypton. They're Daxamites. How's Kara going to fit into this? Is she going to be a thing?
Yeah, so if he's the last, she's going to be the last daughter of Krypton. Well, can't wait to see how this train wreck goes. It's like a train. It's like a car crash. I'm not looking away. I know it's going to crash, but I'm here for it. So thank you guys for checking out this video. If you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video. I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, and we're signing out, guys. See you guys later. Peace. I'm putting this up. I'm going to get to the next thing in a moment. I had sex with a woman.
Dude, wouldn't it be funny if like your neighbors like could hear you, and what would they think of your, like, if all they heard was the stuff that you randomly say?
Luckily, I'm upstairs. Good Lord,
Apparently,
man.
he had sex with a woman, and a
God.
real one.
Good Lord. The Lakers are playing OKC right now.
Yes.
They're down by 8. Is LeBum going to be activated tonight? Is LeBum going to be here? God damn. I had to get another Laker jersey. I used to have one a long time ago. I gotta get another one. But as you guys know, our next topic is going to be, well, speaking of a company that's in a rut with no ideas, that's billed as the House of Ideas.
Oh God.
I'm going to show you what they're going to do. It's going to blow your mind.
Oh,
It's bad. It's bad. You ready to get your mind completely eviscerated and completely annihilated? You ready for the love I'm about to give you, sir? One second. Bring it up.
Yes, I am. I am ready.
Oh God, because there's so much to explain here, guys. But I'll do my best because that's what I do here. I tell you guys everything that you don't know, so now you know. So you're all caught up with what you need to know to make better purchases on stuff that you should now know the new information on. That was good.
He came up with that all himself, ladies and gentlemen.
I did actually. I'm a genius. Why am I getting ads for TurboTax? It's fucking April. Tax season is over.
Well, not 100% over.
It's not over yet? Really? Oh, shit.
I think it's like, it might be. It might have been April 5th.
Isn't it like April? Yeah. I thought it was the 5th. Huh. Oh my God. God, Lee, man. Oh, fucking hell. What the hell's going on with my internet? All right.
You muted me.
Oh, no, because your mic. You were staticking from your mic a little bit.
How?
That was weird. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe.
Mine's
good now.
It's an XLR mic.
I think maybe it's me. My brain is fried.
I mean, it. There's a chance. Maybe I hit the.
Give me one second, guys. You're fine. You're fine. It's good now. It's because I had Photoshop open. Let me close that so I can get to this 101 article. Because, good Lord, man, these articles run like 1,000 ads for their fucking sponsorships in the background of their website.
A laptop so you can run your show.
Everything's fine. Don't worry. I have the tools to cope with whatever life throws at me.
Okay.
I don't. I'm lying. Obviously, I'm lying. I'm black. That's the only thing that we can do is lie.
Dude, I still haven't taken down the stuff from my Christmas show. I still have this garland right here. It's been up here forever.
It's Christmas all year round in your house. Okay, maybe it works better now. Yeah, okay. So let me just scroll down a little bit. Make sure the ads are very minimum. My God, why is there so much damn ads? I don't want fucking ads.
It might have been
for
might have been
control.
you because you just froze there for a second.
Yeah, it probably was me. Good Lord. Okay.
You're good now, but you did freeze there for a second.
The ads there are too much. Yeah, it's too much on this website. Damn it.
Why don't you just tell me what they're doing and we can.
No, we'll just, it's crazy, guys. Maybe we'll just do it next week because
we can do that.
Apparently, my computer just hates me right now. Can't wait till I put my fucking new PC in.
That's fine.
Come on. Yeah, we'll just do it next week.
We can do it next week. That's fine.
Wait,
are we doing a show next week or are you going to be gone?
No, I'm leaving Wednesday, so I'll be here Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
You better do some live stuff from there.
I'm trying to. I should film myself having sex with girls.
Dude, you can go live on YouTube from your phone.
Yeah, we're gonna do it on the car ride there for sure. I know that.
What time?
I don't know. I'm gonna tell them right now what time we have to leave and everything because right when I get off work, we're gonna head out. So I'm gonna have everything packed before I go to work, and then I'm gonna come back here, grab it, and we're just gonna head out. Do you think I should wear my suits?
Yes.
I have the suits prepped, and I wanted to do it last year, but I was self-conscious. And I was like, maybe I'll be too overdressed.
Listen. Don't ever be self-conscious. Never.
Because I thought I'll be just way too overdressed for like a casual occasion.
Who cares? Who cares?
Gosh.
Dude, look at me. I'm in my mid-40s, and look at me.
You don't go outside like me. We're like incels.
I do go outside. Dude, you do realize like I do work for like a major company, and I do have to see those people.
I do know that.
Every so often. And guess what I do? Just like this, buddy. I do get a lot of compliments on the shoes, though. I do.
Oh yeah, I forgot you buy Jordans. Yeah.
Yeah, I got the 2019 Jordan 4 breads on, which are nice. And I bought the reimagined pair, which is nice. The all leather pair. Those are really nice too.
Oh my God. I turned into a black man.
I mean, you turned into, or you already was?
I was a white man. But it's just, oh guys, it's just, you know, we were talking earlier. It's like, why don't people ever do like anything that requires preparation? Everyone just like thinks they can just basically have stuff announced to them, and it's just on the fly, and they're like, oh my God, life's over. It's like, does no one like prep for anything? Do you like, I don't get it.
Yeah, preparation is definitely key. You need preparation. But I will say this, the prepping your outfits, I wouldn't worry about that. Just go as yourself, bro. Seriously. Like, I'm being honest. Like, if I guarantee you, if you go just as yourself, you'll be fine. 100% fine.
And girls will try to bring you back to the hotel.
You go as this guy, make sure you're live streaming, because I want to be there for this.
Like, everyone's gonna see me rizz up women. Like, oh my God, last year I hadn't been out of the house in months, and I think I said some of those cringiest things I ever did to people. Women got the worst
end
of that.
Rizz up those women though?
Not necessarily. Oh,
there you go.
Damn, look at that block.
But I mean, I'm just joking with you. I think you'll have fun. I think you'll have a good time.
Oh, that's what I wanted to ask you before we go about the Batman, because you were talking about it last night in the chat. Do you really think they're gonna do a Batman, the Batman sequel?
Okay, so I did have some stuff that I wanted to say about Batman. I forgot about that actually. It's a good thing you actually said that, because they were talking about like no detective work in the Batman, yet like the first 45 minutes of it was literally detective work.
I think people remember the El Rada stuff, that riddle and shit that was going on.
Well, you'd remember him like going into the crime scene, doing detective work, and then going back to the place and putting all the stuff out and doing all the detective
that I remember
work with and then getting the thumb drive, all that funny stuff. Like, there was a lot of little things there, but I thought the first 2/3 of the movie was great. I thought the last third of it fell apart. The whole YouTube thing, like, I did not care for it. I did not like the ending of the movie. I thought it was bad.
I just didn't like the Riddler. He felt like Jigsaw.
The Riddler, I thought could have been good. I understood why they did. I understood why they did it that way.
Why did they just do Anarchy? Anarchy would have been a better character for that.
Well, the reason why is because people wouldn't have cared as much. That's why.
Yeah.
But I understood why they did it that way. They tried to do it as a more grounded approach stuff. But like I said, it fell apart. It fell apart at the end. Like the scene that most people liked was the scene that I disliked the most. The acting was good when he was talking to him, and he kind of you're like almost thinking like he found out who Batman was, and he was gonna say Bruce Wayne, blah blah blah. I thought that like was so, when you look at it, it was so cringy because of how he portrayed himself with the murders that he did and the things that he did, for him to just be this goofball at the end, and I did everything through the interwebs, and I had my whole cast and crew watch my videos on the YouTube. Well, if that many people found it, how the fuck did nobody else see these videos? Like, how did nobody see these?
Mhm.
How did he cultivate an audience to make them private or unlisted? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
Mhm.
it just didn't make any sense, and I just didn't like the whole thing and like the end of
That
it.
iteration of the Riddler, I just
But I
yeah, 'cause
get
it's
it.
not really the
But hey,
Riddler.
hey,
It just ugh.
at least they didn't put in the Joker. Did you see that deleted scene?
Oh, I'm glad that was deleted. That was
Oh my
trash.
god,
That
dude.
was actually bad. I'm glad that was deleted.
That dude from the Eternals too.
Yeah, Barry Keoghan, Joker. I
Yeah.
remember the scene. I did a reaction to it on my original big tear. Like
Horrible.
even the design, like Joker's an ugly person, but that was actually hideous to look at. That looked
And
like
I get
shit.
it. They wanted it to look like acid all over, and I understand it, right?
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
that's not the way the Joker looks. We don't need that type of realistic Joker. You know,
Oh yeah. Mhm.
like the Dark Knight already did the Joker the best it's ever gonna probably be for quite some time.
Did you like the Jack
Yeah.
Nicholson Joker from '89?
Okay, so I think the '89 movie is more nostalgia than anything.
People always hate me for saying this. I don't think any of those movies are really that good, honestly.
I think
All of
it's
them,
more
all four of them.
nostalgia. I love them. Okay, I love the '89. Returns is as it is,
Have you
but like
rewatched Returns anytime soon? I've seen it several times. It doesn't
it's
hold up very well at all.
no, it doesn't. It really
Ugh.
doesn't. I thought Danny DeVito did a great job of making the
Michelle Pfeiffer did
Penguin
a great job
disgusting.
too. Yeah.
Michelle Pfeiffer was just hot. That's
Yeah.
you know.
People say Batman Returns is good. I'm saying you guys have probably only seen it that one time.
Well,
We
that's what I'm
watched
saying.
it.
It's nostalgia based.
Yeah.
You know, it definitely is. But like, I just never bought Michael Keaton as like a tough dude. Michael Keaton to me was like 80s actor funny, like, you know, and then like Multiplicity, dude. Like, she touched my Peppy Steve. That's all I can think about when I look at that guy. And like, I don't know. I just like, you want to go nuts? Let's get
Let's go
nuts. Like, and then the Joker, Jack Nicholson, everybody's like, oh, he was so awesome. He was so awesome. And I'm like, what? I think you like Jack Nicholson.
I think
I
Gene
think you like-
Hackman was a better I think Gene Hackman did Lex Luthor better than Jack Nicholson did Joker. That makes sense.
I'd have to
I guess for that
rewatch
time
them
period,
again. I would
haven't
have
watched
to rewatch
78
them again.
and
I would have to
watched-
rewatch
yeah.
them again.
I hadn't
But-
watched Superman. What was it called? Superman 78. I hadn't watched that in years.
Well, that I know so much because like I said, like my upbringing, I wasn't really allowed to do things, you know.
Yeah, I remember.
But
Yeah.
that was one movie that we had on VH, and I was allowed to. I've seen it so many times. Like, I remember things in that movie that I still questioned when I was a kid. Like, how does one strand of Superman's hair hold up the 1,000-pound weight, but yet he cuts it with a freaking snippers? Like, how the hell does that happen?
What was the one where he throws his S and it stops someone?
That's I think the second movie. He takes the S off. It's like plastic or something, and he throws it, and it just like envelops this person. Like, and you're like, what? How'd that happen?
Oh God, more. Oh God.
And then
DC.
people talk about,
Jesus Christ.
oh, you got to see the Donner cut of Superman 2. You got to see the Donner cut, and then you watch it, and it's like 3 hours of just stuff.
That reminded me of when people said, you know, if you watch Halloween movies with Michael Myers,
Mhm.
remember in Halloween 6, people kept saying, watch the director's cut. That's not even better. It
It's-
sucks too. Both of them stink.
Like, dude, all the Michael Myers movies suck. Like, the first one, yeah, because it did something new, and you know that was cool. But like, dude, like when Myers, like, dude, the scene, I can't remember which one it is. It might have been 6 or 4.
Mhm.
Whenever the hillbillies are in the truck, there's like 4 people sitting on the bed of the truck, and he's just coming out and reaching and grabbing them, and nobody's noticing these people flying off the truck. It's like, God damn it, Myers. Like, all right.
God,
I'm not a horror guy. Like, my wife loves horror movies,
Mhm.
and like, that's just not my, you know, cup of tea.
Like, it's just, I think people, as we're talking about the Batman, I think people just kind of remember it from the first time they saw it in theaters. Because, like, in my mind, I don't think it's a bad movie. It just doesn't have that memorable factor.
I don't
think
know,
the
dude.
first-
I thought the soundtrack was amazing, and I will 100% remember that opening scene. I don't care what anybody says. That was the most brutal
Oh,
Batman
that one.
scene.
I remember that one. That was good. That was very good.
That was
Yeah.
fantastic. Like when
I feel like
thought
Matt Reeves nailed the aesthetic of Gotham, how grimy
Gotham,
and disgusting
yes,
it is.
Gotham
Yeah.
was great, and I thought Pattinson as Batman was fine. I thought he was good. There was some stuff that I didn't care for. He was a lot of like standoffish, but I get it because the he's in year 2 of being Batman, where Batman took more precedence than being Bruce Wayne. And I'm sorry, but I don't give a shit about Bruce Wayne going like, do I have to see Bruce Wayne go out and get a bunch of chicks to know that he's Bruce Wayne? Like, I don't give a fuck. I'm there to see Batman. Like,
I mean, I like it. It's always cool.
You
Always
want
enjoyed
him
it.
to just go, hey, look,
It reminds me of me.
there's Bruce Wayne.
Wait a minute.
He's not smart. He's just
Yeah.
a playboy. If they
shows
only
you the duality.
knew.
It shows you the duality of both Bruce and Batman. It's
But
supposed
you
to show
already
you that.
know it. Who cares?
To be fair, we already know he's Batman and he beats up people. It's just cool to see
But
it
that's
done
the
different
thing.
sometimes.
You seriously, you think like him picking up chicks is what you want to see? As
No, I
opposed to
personally
Batman
feel like
beating the shit out of people? They could do
Yeah.
that in 2 lines. Like, you know,
I need to-
he didn't take over his father's company. He's too worried about ski trips and
I like
pussy.
in some iterations where he's masked off talking as Bruce to other people. I think that's good sometimes.
Which could be fine. Which could be fine. And you could take that
Did
as
you like Andy Serkis as Alfred? I thought he was terrible, honestly.
Okay, so I didn't have as big a problem as you did. Okay. Only reason why is because they hit on a lot of the things that Alfred was there to do, right?
Mhm.
And he did tell him, like, you know, this is crazy. He did say this, but I did not like how Bruce treated Alfred. I thought that bothered me because he would not do that to him.
Mhm.
That I think I had more of a problem with than Andy Serkis playing him. But that's the thing. That's the thing with Alfred's, like, or any character. You either like that person's like, you know, that person's Alfred or that person's Bruce Wayne, or you don't. Like,
Yeah.
I happen to think that, like, what's his name? Val Kilmer. I thought he was a fine Batman. I thought the movie he was in was not that good.
That's what's always jarring to me. Like, I know Val Kilmer, he tragically passed away. That sucks. But people on the internet are pretending they always liked his Batman. And it's like his Batman, if you look at like ranking videos, is always ranked like just slightly above George Clooney's. And it's like, let's not, just because someone dies, let's not pretend you always liked everything this person did. I hate that. Most people didn't like his Batman at all.
You can actually, if me and my buddy John, we did a thing. We would do this like review thing at the movies. We would sit down before we went to see the movie, give our thoughts about what we're going to see or possibly. Yeah. And then we would go right as soon as we got out of the movies in his car, we would talk and we would film it. So like, I have always been on the record of, I don't like the George Clooney one at all. Right. But the Batman Forever, I don't think is a good movie, but it is a guilty pleasure of mine. I'm not saying that I thought he was an amazing Batman, but what I said is I liked his Bruce Wayne. I thought his Bruce Wayne was decent.
Yeah.
But as a movie, I look at it as a guilty pleasure. It's not a good movie, dude.
It's like good. I'm just thinking like Jim Carrey doing and his Riddler is also really just
and Tommy Lee Jones is Two-Face, Purple Face.
Oh, when I rewatched Batman Forever, Tommy Lee Jones's Two-Face just annoyed me throughout the entire movie. It was just
Jim Carrey being all crazy and wacky. It could have worked. It could have.
Yeah.
But it was everything else was, if they played it super serious and got rid of Two-Face, right? And he was that campy, it would have been okay. But since everything else was campy, it just seemed like he was going so over the top that it was just stupid.
Yeah. If he had actually been like Edward Nygma, it actually could have been one of the best superhero like villain castings almost ever.
They just needed to make the movie serious.
Yeah.
And if you just make the movie serious and he still acts the same exact way he does the entire time, it would be fine.
Yeah,
it would be fine. Mm-hmm. But since the movie was just as ridiculous as he was, you know what I mean? Like it's just But freaking Chris O'Donnell as Robin, like God.
It was gonna be Marlon Wayans. Remember, it was gonna be Marlon Wayans.
That would have not have been good.
You know, Warner Brothers was already doing like woke DEI stuff. Marlon Wayans as Robin. Are you kidding me?
All you gotta do is look at Marlon Wayans in freaking what is it? The Dungeons and Dragons, the first one. Wasn't that him?
Fucking
believe
kill
so.
me, man. What Coolio would have been, I think, Dr. Scarecrow.
Why? Just because he had hair like that? Like, is that why?
Dr. Crane. It's Coolio.
Good job. I've been spending most
I tell people
this
living. No wonder why that. I'm glad that kind of stuff got canceled. Is good. That stuff was the ideas that are leaked that we know now, which would have been the ideas, are bad. Those are trash. Like when Spider-Man 4 leaked, people were like, "Oh, I would have loved to see Spider-Man 4." It's like, no, I wouldn't have. Those ideas stunk. All those ideas were trash.
The only one that's trash that I wanted to see was Superman Returns with Nicolas Cage. I'm sorry, but I wanted to see that. I wanted to, like, the ideas that, like, he has to fight a big crab and, like, all this stuff. Like, dude, I'm sorry. Nicolas Cage is Superman. Could you imagine that? How awful that would have been?
I mean, all it says, Nicolas Cage, did he have more potential than Henry Cavill being Superman? That's the thing. Henry Cavill Superman is just, I thought about it. It's just so forgettable. It's like nothing really stood. I think people
want to know why it's not. Do you want to know why it's not? And I'll tell you.
You say Zack Snyder?
No.
Oh, okay.
Because you can't let it go. Whether you liked it or you hated it, you can't let it go.
Henry Cavill does live rent-free in my head. He does.
He totally does, dude.
That's because I love Superman so much. When I see someone phone it in that hard, it's not that he really phoned it in. I think he kind of gave the same energy he was getting from the cast and crew. Like if they were giving this much, he wanted to match it, but he never actually went over and outdid it.
I honestly think it was the direction. I don't think Zack Snyder, I remember him saying something that really bothered me when he talked about what are superheroes at their heart, at their core. And like, he was like, they're murderers. And I'm like, what?
Keep in mind, this is the person that's only allegedly read The Dark Knight Returns and The Death of Superman. Allegedly.
So like, yeah, allegedly. He didn't read nothing. So he read The Dark Knight Returns, but didn't know the Batman super powered. I thought the Justice League Snyder edition, I thought it was a lot better than what we got. Now, don't get me wrong, there were some scenes in there like the singing with Aquaman, that took like 10 minutes for whatever reason. But I thought his rendition of Darkseid was awesome. I thought it was, and I thought that scene with Darkseid fighting instead of Steppenwolf was so much better. So much better. You know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I wish I would. That's the only time where I said I wish I could have seen the next step of what it could have been.
So Joker giving Batman a reach round doesn't it? That does it for you?
The Jared Leto Joker is just one of the worst. Like, he was so stupid that he's like, I'm so in character that I'm gonna mail you condoms with my jizz in it. Like, what? People got packages with dead rats. Why? Because I'm the Joker. Like, fuck, I'd have punched.
Like how we all witnessed those interviews and people were just laughing because they thought it was funny. It's like, no, guys, he actually did that. And that was just super weird.
Yeah, that wasn't fake. Like, if he would have did that to me, if I'd have fucking opened up something with a fucking Jared Leto condom in it, I'd have beat the brakes off that fucker.
Condoms are one thing, but getting dead rats, we gotta fight in the streets. We have to throw hands. That's weird.
Yeah,
like, holy shit. Remember this?
Yeah. And it broken. Like, oh my God, you suck. Like, I hate you, man.
His Joker was awful. I don't know what was worse, his Joker or Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor.
Well, okay.
Who's apparently this junior, because Zach retconned that. He was like, this is Lex Luthor. He was casted as Lex Luthor, and then Zach was like, no, that's Lex Luthor Jr. You guys just don't get it.
Yeah, he was 100% cast as Lex Luthor. totally terrible miscasting, but with the stuff that he had to work with, it wouldn't have. Here's the thing: it wouldn't have worked even if it was a normal person. Think of the lines that he had to do. Right?
He could have worked as Riddler. I'll give people that. He could have been a great Riddler, actually.
He could have been a Riddler.
Yeah,
a Riddler. Yeah, okay. But
Lex
I think it
Luthor?
was just.
I don't know
I
about
think
that
it was
one.
just bad casting, and I'm worried about the new movie because I'm just hearing so many things, and I didn't want to hear anything. I'm worried about it, man.
I don't know. I've heard the same things you probably heard, and it's like, I don't know. I'll have to see the final product.
I'll have to see it myself. I'll have
Yeah.
to see it myself, but I'm hoping that it doesn't just flatline after that first weekend.
What I'm hoping is that I was thinking like big term a little bit. Let's say Superman comes out and it's really good. People do like it more than they hate it. It's like a 70-30, but it's more like, what I'm thinking of like is the next projects that come, because if it's stuff that people are not interested in, people are not going, guys. We know
100%.
Just from the
100%.
Minecraft movie, because your son liked it and he like, Dad, I want to go see this. And that's what I said last night on the show. It's like, if people really are interested in something, they're gonna go to the theaters. There's no ifs, ands, ors, or buts.
Remember, I've said it a billion times. If you build it, they will come. If you make something good that people want to see, they're gonna go. But if you make this big character that is a 70-30, why the hell are they gonna care about the freaking authority or the freaking
that's the next thing. Is like, if Superman is a hit like they think it is, I think it's going to be a hit to a certain degree. I hope it's good for them, but we're thinking long term. Are people really ready to start checking out movies? Like, it's like when you said earlier, the building of the foundation. Let's build a foundation with like core characters that people already know and love. So you build that up. If you want to do random characters later on, cool. You already built up everything in a way where it's okay. You can get that leeway. You earned that. If we start getting random characters people barely are interested in, I don't want to hear someone telling me, why didn't it make no money?
Especially full movies. Full 1 hour and 30 to 40 minute movies of these characters. Like if they made like Superman, then Batman, Wonder Woman, and then maybe like a third movie, right? Where
Flash, Green Lantern, something
where
like that.
Maybe like some of them had small cameos in it since they were already in a movie, When I hear that Guy Gardner is going to be in the whole movie, like that bothers me, man.
But at least he's not getting his own movie. Like that's what I would.
No, but it's Superman. It can't be Superman needs to be Superman. That's it. That's what it needs to be.
Let me see. Give me one sec. I'm trying to bring up what you want. Give me a second here.
Like that.
Oh my god. Fucking hell. No, it's not. It's not you. I'm trying to look for. Okay, found it. DC Studios and the DCU. Because and I tell people this not because people always use like Guardians, and Guardians is always the biggest example because it's like the most like Z-list, E-list characters getting a big breakout.
But they came out in the middle of like all these movies being successful.
Yeah. So what's the next one coming out?
The second movie.
Let's see. What's the next one? So we have Superman. Supergirl's known. Okay, Supergirl's you can maybe get away. You can maybe get away with Supergirl. Supergirl is known. I'll give you that one. Clayface is like, because it's not what we criticize Sony for. We criticize Sony for putting out villain movies consistently that were not good. Clayface, like based off his origins between New 52 and the original origin, that could be a movie. I'm not saying it can't, but is that something that people are actively interested in watching? Is a Clayface solo origin movie? That's what we need.
But look at the lineup.
The Authority got shelved, so this one's not coming out anytime soon.
But look at the lineup though.
Batman's gonna be here. That's fine.
But when look at and then a Teen
Are people that interested in Swamp Thing? I mean,
now listen. They could make that good, but I don't think they're going to. And look what it is. It's called Gods and Monsters, right?
Yes.
Now go watch. Remember how I told you that the animated Gods and Monsters? It's like Elseworld. Go watch it. If you can watch it, go watch it.
Okay.
And when you hear Gods and Monsters and you see this, like, look at this.
Sergeant
untitled
Rock, like
Bane and Deathstroke movie.
we haven't heard anything about that for a long ass time.
And Sergeant Rock, like this is a terrible line. Warner
But-
Brothers is the dumbest. They are
But it's
the
not
dumbest.
technically Warner Brothers this time around. We know James Gunn has full control. This is all James Gunn. Because, like, you know, with Zack Snyder last time, it was the studio and him not getting along about where to go with Jeff Johns as well. It was like Jeff Johns and Zack versus the studio. This is all James Gunn and Peter Safran this time around. There's no studio with this. He said, hey, I get to pretty much do whatever I want here. And it's like, Teen Titans will get people to go to the theaters. People love Teen Titans. That one I can agree with you on.
Here's the thing, though. When is it going to come out? Look at all the movies before it. You think people are going to give a shit about the Teen Titans if Swamp Thing?
Here's what I think. They might fast track it.
Supergirl suck.
They might fast track it if they look at it based off an interest point of view. Because, like, guys, the reason I'm saying most of these might not come out in the way they might is because is there any interest in a solo Clayface movie, Authority, Swamp Thing? That stuff you need to like build up when you have better things come out to give you the interest. Like once you've built the interest, yeah, you can probably get someone to going on a Clayface movie because DC doesn't have that, like, let's say, street cred that Marvel used to have, where they used to put out stuff that people actually wanted to see, even though they probably may or may not have been on the fence about it. Why do I need a Clayface movie this early on? This early on?
Why are you
What do I
getting
need that for?
Clayface before Batman?
Sergeant Rock, like, who gives a fuck who this is? No one cares about this. Who cares what Sergeant Rock is?
Why, if you're gonna do Clayface, why isn't he the villain in Batman?
Because it's gonna be like Venom, man. Imagine if we get a scene like, we are Clayface. Just imagine that. Not gonna happen, but hopefully. Swamp Thing, Teen Titans, Sergeant Rock. Like, Lanterns should be a show. That's something that probably should be. We're getting Peacemaker season 2. Like, I don't know. Like, some of these ideas, he's not. I like James Gunn. I do, but he's not cooking on some of these guys. Like,
dude, I would rather get a Booster Gold movie than a series and have a Clayface series if you're gonna do it.
Yeah, Booster Gold should be. And Booster Gold is like one of those characters. Like, does he even have interest?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
But I'm saying though, I would rather get that than that. I would rather them not do that. The movies need to be the big characters. If you're gonna build the smaller characters, pump that for your freaking HBO Max.
Yeah, and you can do smaller characters. I'm not saying you can't.
How is
but it's like
make a goddamn good Green Lantern movie. Like, what is going on?
Also, let's keep in mind here, guys. DC needs to build up confidence in the average moviegoer before they start putting out movies for characters that no one knows. Keep in mind, we just saw this in 2023. We have examples of this. Blue Beetle came out. It's a character that a lot of you guys don't know about with Jaime Reyes. It's the second Blue Beetle outside of like the original guy, Ted Kord. Yeah. None of you went and saw that. So people go, but if they put it out, we might. None of you went and saw Blue Beetle. It was the lowest. It's like the lowest grossing movie in that universe. None of you went and saw it. This is not like I'm making this up. This is factual numbers we saw. None of you went and saw Blue Beetle, even though it was a random character that a lot of you guys didn't know about. None of you went and watched it.
Dude,
Shazam 2. None of you went and watched it.
And Shazam 1 was fun.
I like Shazam 1. That's my favorite one in that universe. I love the first movie. It was good. The sequel,
not so much.
It was definitely bad.
It was definitely a movie of all time, as you would say.
It had Rachel Zegler in it, and she was dating a 17-year-old, but no one criticized her. In the movie, she's an ancient Greek goddess, and they're like thousands of years old dating a teenager. She wanted to get piped down because her old pussy was just dried up in a skeleton.
How about the backlash of the cope for Snow White? Dude, so many internet bros talking about how this is what I love. Tell me, is this hilarious to you or not? Dudes calling out other guys of the same age, saying, you don't even care about Snow White, so why would you, criticize it? And it's like, you're the same age as me. You like it. So why wouldn't I have the same appeal to it? Like,
I know what you're saying. That argument makes dumb. No,
so dumb.
Sometimes I think the internet is cooking, but when it gets into arguments of like, hey, but you're 40, you shouldn't be criticizing this. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? That actually is such a nonsensical thing to say to someone. Hey, because a grandma might be 60, that means that she can't criticize the Superman movie coming. It was like, when people say things like, well, it's just an old man yelling at the clouds. It's like, guys, we're all people yelling at the clouds. Every single one of us is a person yelling at the clouds. I don't know what's gotten into some of you with how you speak, but it's like, most of you guys are retarded. Just pointing out there, most of you guys are stupid. Just saying that. But yeah, it's one of these things where I hate when people just lie to me most of the time. People just like, I understand giving characters that never had attention shine. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm not saying you can't. But there's a time and a place where I like to believe in actions over word. Like Grace Randolph, I know you guys don't like her. I don't like her either. I think she's stupid. But what she said about DC resonates not just with DC, but with movie fans too. People with DC will tell James Gunn to his face, I love this man. I'll get on my knees and suck your cock because I love everything you do. But then when the movies come out, you guys don't show up. She isn't lying. Why do people do that? That's one of my biggest pet peeves, where people will lie and tell you they're going to do something and they don't do it. And then, oh, I'm surprised, Pikachu face, this movie didn't do so well. You didn't go see it. None of you went and saw it. But then you're going to blame marketing. The Minecraft movie's marketing really wasn't there.
Yeah, I mean,
Minecraft just sold because people were interested in seeing Minecraft because it's Minecraft.
Minecraft, I mean, like, if you remember our conversation about it when you were like, this movie's going to do terrible, and I said...
Because of the trailers looked really
But what did I say? What did I tell you?
You said the kids were going to love it.
The kids are going to love it, and parents are going to go to it because their kids like it.
Yeah, but you mind what else say?
But I understand
enough to ask the parents to go. Okay, I want to see this.
Right, and I think and I understand that. I think where that part succeeded was those people going to see it, and then the parents telling we had fun seeing it, and then a lot of other people went and saw it that might not have children, because I mean it's doing very well. And I'm not saying this plethora of people went and saw it that don't have kids or anything like that. But whenever I see videos that say Minecraft is a disaster, and I'm just like,
but just admit, I would never do that. If I genuinely was wrong about a movie, I'll just say I was wrong. People saying it's a disaster, it's like, come on, just admit you were wrong. It's fine. Right. We all make predictions. We all get them wrong. I was wrong about Sonic. I said Sonic 3 was going to destroy Mufasa. That didn't happen. I was like, I was wrong. I genuinely thought it would have.
Right. But. Yeah. You know what, though? But Mufasa, it shows after that, that it's like.
I think it's just people like The Lion King more than they like Disney.
That's it. Yeah. Right. Because when you see Mufasa, right, and you're like.
I'd imagine Sonic's the better movie.
It's so. Because remember, I didn't see. My wife went to. So whenever I saw it, I was like, "Oh, this is great. This is. I love those movies.
Yeah,
I love those movies. I went and saw the first two, and we had so much fun. And I wish I could have seen the third one with him, but it didn't work out. And I don't know, man. I think for me personally, I just look at certain things and it shows you whenever I've said, that's not made for me. I don't mean it in a way that's I can't enjoy this movie. I think
the reason why I asked you before was because I was trying to pick your brain because I like to have people understand.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. When people say that and that's a cop out, I'm saying it more in the frame of that's something I never would have interest in anyway. It's not something that I
my argument too. Yeah.
Right. And I understand where at first I didn't. But now I do.
Yeah, because people, and so saying, if you're interested in something, you'll just, like when we explained earlier with the Switch 2's price, you're just going to go get it if you really want it. There's no 10,000 excuses. People make all of these excuses with some of these movies, and it's like, the interest isn't there. We'll use another random movie from not Marvel or DC. The one with the Fall Guy with Ryan Gosling. Ryan Gosling was in Barbie. Yeah. Barbie did gangbang records at the box office. His Fall Guy movie fizzled out, did nothing because no one's interested. Right. Barbie has interest. One of them doesn't. The only way that can work is if word of mouth is so good, the interest will go if the word of mouth is there. But the word of mouth doesn't really happen for so many superhero projects like Black Adam. The Rock, the biggest movie star in the world, couldn't get Black Adam to be a $400 million movie.
No.
And Black Adam is only kind of really known to people that are like knowing of DC.
And I think he ruined the marketing of it too.
The hierarchy.
I've been doing this for 14 years, and you're thinking, oh my God, this should be amazing then.
Should be good, right?
And the only thing that mattered in that movie or was good was Dr. Fate. Like, that was the only thing. When he did stuff, you're like, wow, that's really cool looking. And they were like, we're taking it away from you. You're like, no, why did you do that?
When he said the hierarchy of power in the DC universe is about to change, nothing changed.
No.
It just became a middling of the pack movie with just nothing to offer. It's just I just want people to understand, you don't have to make excuses for stuff. If the interest is there, it'll come. Now, do I believe fatigue factors into that? Sure. But I don't think it's
some. Not $700 million of fatigue for one movie.
I think if you put out enough bad stuff in a row, that will make people kind of question what to go see. That's it right there. You've lost the trust of the audience. Yeah. Still, it's just like when TV makes stuff, right? People wonder why like NCIS and CSI, those shows were so popular, right? It's because it took the average casual viewer. That's what they made it for. They did not make it for the diehards that were always going to be there. Yeah. Right. You made it for those people. So it grabbed their attention. They could miss a few episodes and then come back in and watch it because it didn't matter. Yeah. They might have like those 2 or 3 episodes a year where the overall story of the characters was done. But those other 20 episodes was Monster of the Week. You could turn on like Law and Order, They might have a 2-parter, but Law and Order. Those are actual jumping in points. Marvel and DC about jumping on points. Those shows have jumping on points. You could watch season 6, episode 20 and get into it. Exactly. And that's, I think, like where when you make a few bad movies, right, you might have 1 or 2 that you could do. But when you make 3, 4, 5, if you start making 6 bad movies in a row, people are going to be like, and then you make one good one, right? That technically wasn't really made with. It was just because it's under your umbrella. And when you tried to stick your finger in it, the guy was like, fuck you, get the fuck out of here. Don't touch my shit. Just I wanted to tie into that thing you were saying earlier. It's like, well, the reason why Marvel can do that and did that for as long as it did was because they built that trust. DC is trying to give you like random shit no one cares about up front when the universe is just, this is our last time doing this. Speaking of like, all in. They are all in with this universe. This is their last time doing it. And the second movie is going to be Supergirl is known. I'll give you a pass on that one. And if you don't make something known after that, and if you start complaining that your box office is failing, I got no sympathy for you. Make shit people are interested in. Make stuff people want to go to the theaters to spend actual money on, not listening to people on Twitter who are broke as fuck, who don't understand how to manage their finances better. Like, stop listening to those people. Make stuff people actually care about. Batman should be fast tracked. And I think it will be. There's no way Batman shouldn't be fast tracked. I just look at it and it's like if you're starting a franchise, right? And you're doing it with DC characters, it's got to be Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. And you could do Superman first, fine. But those 3 have to be there. And then if it were me, right? I would do Superman, Batman, interchange, whatever. Fine. I would do Superman first, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, right? And then I would possibly maybe put like Green Arrow in the Flash or Green Lantern. Maybe they talk. Maybe you show them, you see them a little bit, fine, whatever. If you want to in the next movie, and then I might have done like Superman 2, right? And if you do Superman 2, then you can bring in Supergirl, whatever. But in that movie, right, there at the end of that movie has to be an underlying threat coming that unites those ones, unless you're going to do another one of this, because you can't just do one movie, then here's 2 about nobody gives a shit about, right? Nobody gives a shit. Especially if you're trying to build the universe. This is the building blocks. The building blocks have to be there first. And it's kind of safer to build them, or it's kind of safer to have a universe getting built with characters that people actually want to go see. Like, what was the movie? Is there interest in Swamp Thing as a movie? I get he's a popular character amongst comic book fans, but is he a popular character enough for...
Like, well, I could say this. He did have a cartoon. He sold very
kind of had a
well.
live action series, kind of.
He sold very well in toys, but that was like in the 80s and like early 90s. That wasn't like a, you know what I mean? People aren't going to see Swamp Thing and go, "Ooh, Swamp Thing's back." You know what I'm saying? Like, that's something that you can do after the things are established, or you bring Swamp Thing in your big team up movie. Have him only in limited scenes. Make him so badass. The scenes that he's in so badass that when you announce the Swamp Thing movie, people are like, "Oh, that's the thing that he did this in this movie," you know. But you know, we're gonna get the Authority and fucking Sergeant Rock.
Sergeant Rock, like, if
dude, you want to know what the last thing Sergeant Rock did, and that I remember? I'll show you. The last thing Sergeant Rock did that I remember.
Yeah.
Is he introduced Dark Knight's death metal.
Jesus Christ, man.
And I don't remember anything after this that he did. And this is him telling us the, like, what's going on in Dark Knight's death metal. And I don't know. Like, I don't know what to think of that. I don't know. Like, are you doing it because you want to make a war movie? Is that what you're doing? Like, I don't know.
I'll be completely honest here, dude. If they didn't announce who the fuck that was, I would have never known he even existed as a character. It's that unknown to me. But do have to head in here in a little bit. I'm gonna go get some food. I am starving. Yep. But anything you want to say before we head out? Actually, any other things?
No, I'm good.
Yep. So we'll see each other next week. We'll be covering. Just do Absolute Superman #2, and then we'll talk about probably me banging my wife. So yeah, I'll probably end up streaming a game later on tonight, guys. But I'm gonna go get some dinner. I'm starving, and we had a great show. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the replay, and thank you guys for checking out.